Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is ASO Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be looking at messages from the universe, your spirit guides, God, whatever you want to call it, or just even the cards. Really doesn't matter. You don't have to be spiritual for this or religious for this to resonate. But if you are new to pick a card readings and you have never come across one of these before, stick around because I will explain how these work and what you need to do. But before we get into that, I have a very special and very important reason that we're doing this video today. And her name is MEGADECK. Feast your eyes on this oracle glory. So essentially the other night I had a vision, not like a Raven Simone vision, but just a chaos ASO brain, what if we combined 3 oracle decks and called it MEGADECK? And I was just like, yeah, that needs to happen. And I figured this would be the best type of reading to give MEGADECK a test run and see what happens. So I'm really excited to give her a go, but before we use MEGADECK, I want to get an idea of what's going on, what the message is going to be about in your situation. So we have 4 different piles today, each card representing a pile. We have pile 1 with the Animal Tarot, pile 2 with the Weaver Tarot, pile 3 with the Affirmators Tarot, and pile 4 with the Rainbow Heart Tarot. So essentially, you are meant to pick the deck that you feel most drawn to. This can be like a gut feeling or one that really catches your eye. I've seen people in the comments say like certain piles will glow for them. So whatever that may be, I know other people meditate before they choose or they use a pendulum. But essentially, you're meant to pick the card or cards you're most drawn to. So if you're drawn to more than one, that's absolutely okay, especially in a reading like this where it's open to pretty much any types of messages. So do what works for you, but it's important to remember, because it is a general reading, to take what resonates and don't let the rest take from you. So I'm channeling a lot of energies, a lot of different situations, and not everything may apply for you. So take what helps you, whatever doesn't, throw it in the trash, set it on fire, do what you want. You know, I'm not going to tell on you for arson. Anyway, once you pick your pile, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all the timestamps for each of the piles, and then we will get into it. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Animal Tarot and this tarot card, this is going to be your reading on what Spirit, the universe, whatever wants you to know. So what I'm going to do first is we're just going to kind of look into what's going on in your life and what Spirit wants to talk about. I pulled one card first, and this is the card that you picked. And this is kind of your overall general energy. And then I'm going to use tarot to get more details. And then the fun begins because MEGADECK is going to give you some advice. So let's just go ahead and start. So your first tarot card is the 7 of Wands. Geckos might have some significance to you. Maybe you just have Geico. I don't know. Anyway, I definitely get with this pile a feeling of like you're being tested or being challenged right now. And I don't think it's necessarily any one person, any one thing. I feel like it's a culmination of things going on in your life. I feel this energy of you feeling like you need to prove yourself and maybe feeling a bit discouraged because it's almost like the odds are against you, or it just feels like the world or people in your life are not as supportive of you as they could be. What I'm kind of getting with this, what's funny is that when I started shuffling, I was hearing the song Kings and Queens by Ava Max, and I think that's kind of fitting just based on, you know, the tarot cards that you guys picked. You know, this cat is a regal looking guy. So I definitely think that you know that you have a lot of greatness within you and you're meant to do something really awesome, much greater than what was going to be a very bad shuffle. But you know what? Sometimes we flop. And I think it's important to know that flopping is okay sometimes. It's always okay. You can always flop. But anyway, that wasn't even the point. The real point of what I'm trying to say is that I definitely feel like you're doing a really good job of trying not to let the circumstances surrounding you get you down. But I definitely feel like you have moments where you're like, shit, like, maybe these people are right. Maybe I am, like, not going to be successful, or maybe I am, like, you know, not going to achieve what I want. I definitely feel like you have these doubts sometimes. And I think you know deep down in that pretty little heart of yours that you can absolutely achieve whatever it is that you're trying to do, or you can absolutely go after what it is that you want. You know your worth, but I think when the going gets tough, sometimes it's easy to beat yourself up, and I kind of think that's the energy you're in, but we're gonna see for sure. So, Spirit, what else can you tell me about pile 1? What does this 7 of Wands pertain to? What does pile 1 need to know about? Okay, I'm going to take them. So we have the Page of Pentacles. Aw, so cute. We also have the 5 of Spring and the 6 of Swords. The 5 of Spring is the 5 of Wands, by the way. So yeah, I definitely, and oh, on the back of the deck we have the Ace of Cups. Okay. So that's interesting, actually, because when I pulled this card, this guy was on the back of the deck and he came back. So I definitely see this feeling of being tested reiterated here. I definitely see you in this Princess of Autumn. You obviously don't have to identify as a woman. This is just a page energy. So you might be starting something new. Maybe you are joining some type of education, or joining education, enrolling in education, whatever the word is. Maybe you're starting a business, maybe you're starting a new line of work, or you're interested in looking into something new, or you've already started it and you might be afraid of what's going to happen, or you might feel like you're unsure of yourself. I definitely feel like there's like an opportunity that you want to take, or that you've already taken, solely because it makes you happy. It makes you emotionally fulfilled. And I think that there are some people in your life that maybe aren't supportive of this, or it just seems like there might be conflict of some kind that happened in the past that you're not necessarily over. And truth be told, the type of conflict could be anything. But the biggest thing that I'm getting is family and friends. This could be something to do with relationships, but I feel like the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Swords kind of encompasses this general feeling that I was talking about earlier, of just feeling like the world is against you, and even the people close to you, despite their intentions, it just feels like you're not getting the support that you need, if that makes sense. So one thing that I want to say right away is that if you are making some type of decision towards an opportunity that you think is going to make you very happy, or you've already made this decision to do something that is going to make you very happy, Spirit is saying that you've made the right choice. And that despite like any naysayers or the people that don't believe in you, what they're really trying to tell you is that that doesn't matter. And I'm kind of getting that right away, because this is clearly a wonderful opportunity, and Spirit wants you to take it if you haven't already. If you have, Spirit is saying that you have made the right decision, and that you should take more pride in going against the grain and going after what you want, even when it's not something that everybody is going to support you on or believe in you about. Like, I almost wonder if some of you had to move for this opportunity, and maybe you left certain people on bad terms, like, or you just felt like there was no resolution with certain situations. I feel like you're trying your best not to let it get you down, though. Whatever has happened, I definitely think there are things that are kind of plaguing you from the past, that maybe kind of come to the forefront of your mind at times. And it's really frustrating for you because I feel like you've been trying your damn best to just be positive and not let things get you down. You might have been somebody in the past who's very prone to negative thinking or prone to assuming the worst. And I think what Spirit is just saying is that some people are meant to be in your life for a reason, and some people are meant to be in your life for a season. The people that are meant to be in your life for a reason, they typically are very supportive of you, and you see eye to eye, and they will be happy for you to follow your dreams, and they'll want you to be your best self. And people that are usually here for a season don't necessarily have, it doesn't mean that they, I was going to say they might not have the best intentions, but I think that's not fair to say. I think just, you know, they might be just not the right person for you to hang out with. Maybe it's just because you're going through different things, or, you know, people just naturally fall away from your life. That doesn't make them a bad person. But there could definitely be some Aries energy here with the Ram. But I feel like this reading feels very scrambled. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like in terms of what I'm channeling and what I'm trying to say, I've restarted it like 3 times because I'm having a hard time finding the right words to say. And so I think that's kind of fitting because doves always represent peace. And I think that for you, even if people are falling away from your life, you want to at least have closure or have some kind of inner peace of like accepting things for the way that they've happened. I feel like whatever kind of conflict that has happened in the past or challenges that you've faced, you haven't gotten over it yet. And I think that's like kind of just one of the things that's frustrating you. Because with this 7 of Wands, even though I was talking about it being like kind of an all-encompassing energy, you know, like it's not just one challenge, it's multiple different challenges. Maybe, you know, having the finances or finding a place to live, or just little frustrating things like your bus or train being late. Like, I feel like there's just tiny things that happen, that have been happening a lot, that are really frustrating. And then on top of it, you have this stress of something that happened, conflict that happened of some kind in your past that you haven't really gotten any resolution on. And so I feel like you're in this energy of like, I'm turning a new page in life, I'm starting new, I'm trying my best to be positive. But you think about this past situation or situations, you know, maybe this is multiple different people. And you're just and like, I feel like it's just kind of not necessarily a mood ruiner, but like, it just makes the success a little less sweet. Like, you might have wanted to share these accomplishments with this person, but you're not on talking terms, or you want support from these people and you're not talking to them or something like that. Whatever it may be though, like even if you don't have like a conflict that you are still ruminating over from the past, or that still is kind of like in the back of your mind, I feel like Spirit is saying that the inner conflict like within yourself about if you made the right choice or not to go after whatever this opportunity is, it's a solid like yes. And I think that the challenges that you're facing right now are all kind of part of your spiritual evolution. With the 7 here, 7s are a very spiritual number, and I feel like with the 7 of Wands, you know, whatever it is that you're going after, you're clearly very passionate about it. It's something that makes you very happy, and if anybody has a problem with that, like that's on them. You know, it's your life and you deserve to live it how you want. And I feel like, you know, the attributes of the Princess of Autumn are cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. So like, I love that energy for you, because I really do feel like it's hard for you to maintain this sort of energy, and you've been working very, very hard to stay in it. And I think that whatever this situation is, it's holding you back a little bit. So we're definitely going to look with MEGADECK to see what's going on with that and what they want you to know. But I feel like it's important for me to tell you that, like, you're not going crazy. There have been way too many challenges that you've faced in the past couple of months or even like years, honestly. And I think it's just important for you to know that you've been doing such an excellent job of just trying to stay motivated, trying to stay positive, and focusing on the good things rather than the bad things. It's only natural that we go back and look at the past things that plague us, plague our soul. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, it's okay to still have those thoughts, to think back on those times, and it's okay to be frustrated, especially just like with the universe when these challenges come your way. But I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, you've done an excellent job, and we're like very happy that you're taking whatever this opportunity is. I feel like this could be a job, a school, business opportunity. It feels more business related, but it could even be like, it could be moving somewhere to start a relationship with someone. It could be just starting a relationship with somebody. There's a lot of different possibilities here, but the biggest one that I am getting, because I feel so scattered in this pile, I just want to like sum up the main idea of what I'm talking about. So essentially, it seems like you're feeling tired. Like it just seems like things are against you right now. There's a lot of like dumb little things that keep coming your way that are just frustrating and maybe kind of wear you down. And then on top of it, there's these external influences that are still kind of coming up in your mind that have probably happened in the past and that you haven't gotten closure with, that are also contributing to this feeling of defensiveness, this feeling of like, I have to prove myself, or I have to, you know, work my hardest. But it's also at the same time is maybe bringing your mood down, when in reality, you just want to be positive. You want to be excited about this new opportunity. You want to be excited about where your life is heading. And then this shit's just kind of like muddling it. It's just not cool. So let's see what MEGADECK has to say now, because we're going to get some advice for your situation. And then what we're going to do is get channeled messages from your spirit guides. And then we're going to get some like positive affirmation cards to finish off. So I'm really excited to look at that. So Miss MEGADECK, do your thing. I think I'm actually going to have to break her into 2 MEGADECKs, because Miss MEGADECK is so mega that my non-mega hands cannot handle that amount of shuffling. So my intentions with this deck is to just get advice for you and kind of like what Spirit wants you to know. We'll see, you know, what's new, what's coming up, what to expect. I'm leaving like everything open. But now that MEGADECK knows the tea and what's going on, she can help us know what to do or what you need to know. So, all right, MEGADECK, or MEGADECK 1. What do you have to say to pile 1, please, MEGADECK? What do they need to know about this situation? What advice do you have for them? Okay, so to start, we have victory in reverse. Okay, what else do you want to say? I definitely think that, like, whatever the situation is, it causes you to doubt yourself and doubt your abilities to achieve what you're going after. I'm gonna take this one. Journey, yeah. So this is definitely, so those of you who have moved, I feel like MEGADECK is acknowledging that, and that it hasn't been easy. Like, the odds are stacked against you. We also have strength. This is beautiful. What else, MEGADECK? What else do you want to tell to pile 1? Okay, well, that's too many. I just need one more, please. All right, MEGADECK, what do you want to tell pile 1? What do you want to tell pile 1? Okay, that's... I'm going to take milk and honey, but I'm going to leave the rest because they don't feel meant for you. But on the back of the deck, we have indecision. So right away, I feel like Spirit is kind of just reiterating exactly what I was talking about. This is definitely a time of, I just heard mental fortitude. I think that like one of your biggest enemies right now is your brain. I feel a sense of hurt. Like, I think some of the people in your life, like you really wanted them to be on board with your goals. You really wanted them to be on board with your dreams and like what you're trying to accomplish. And it seems like the lack of faith or the whatever's gone down between you and people in the past that don't support you, it definitely, I'm hearing rocked your shit in a way that kind of was unfair to you. I feel like it was unfair to you in a way. Like maybe you weren't being supported because those people didn't understand how meaningful it was to you, or how great of an opportunity this was, or how passionate you are about this. But I feel like right away MEGADECK is saying like, hey buddy, you know, just because other people don't believe in you doesn't mean that you shouldn't believe in you. And there very well could be people that do believe in you. So I would definitely focus on surrounding yourself with them rather than focusing on those people who weren't supportive. But with this journey card here, I feel like Spirit is really saying, you know, this is just part of the journey for you. This is part of life. And I feel like, you know, with this indecision card and this journey, it's like, I feel like you're just having a hard time of knowing, you know, I'm hearing like, should I stay or should I go? So for some of you, maybe you haven't taken this opportunity yet and you want closure before you do it. But I feel like Spirit is saying that like you kind of already have the answers. You know what you want to do, but I feel like the only reason you're holding back doing it, if you haven't done it already, is because you want their approval. These people's approval. I don't think my grammar is very good right now. But I feel like Spirit is saying there are blessings to come, very sweet blessings to come from this situation. And, you know, having the Ace of Cups on the back of the deck with that dove and like this rainbow here, I think that, you know, the reason why you feel so called to take this opportunity, even if the odds are stacked against you, is because you know that you're strong enough to achieve whatever this is. You know that you're strong enough to go after whatever it is that you're wanting, and you know that you have the capabilities of doing it. It would be very nice, yes, if other people were supportive of your dreams, but Spirit is really saying that you don't need them to support you. Sometimes things are a one-man journey, and I feel like your most important decisions that you need to make, you have to make on your own, because you know yourself better than anyone. And I think that Spirit is saying that even if, like, let's say you haven't necessarily argued with anyone, or you haven't dealt with flack from anyone, but maybe people just aren't supportive or are asking you to be logical or rational about something, I feel like Spirit is saying that you're strong enough to overcome any challenges that you face. But I feel like it makes a lot of sense that we have this milk and honey being 51, because it reduces to 6, and 6 is the number of unconditional love. But 5 and 1, you know, that's pretty unbalanced. 5 is the energy of change, chaos, conflict, and 1 is kind of the number of, it makes me think of the Magician, manifestation, taking charge, leadership. And I feel like Spirit is saying through these hardships that you're going through right now, you're going to reap the benefits later. And if you are struggling to make that decision and you know where your heart lies, but the rest of you is like, I don't want to make anyone upset. I don't want people to be upset at me. I don't want to lose their approval. I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, sometimes it's not easy to go after the things that we want, but we have to do it anyway when our soul is calling us to do it, because otherwise we're going to spend the rest of our life wondering what if. And, you know, the universe works in very, very, look, I just cut the deck and we have door to value. In strength, 44, that reduces to 8, which is a number of abundance. And I think that's very fitting for you guys, because I do think that this overall relates to some kind of financial endeavor or some type of endeavor that could be very prosperous and very abundant for you. And what I love in the milk and honey card is that there's an elephant, and elephants are, first of all, just dope. But also, you know, elephants often represent wisdom and the ability to overcome obstacles that are in your way. And sometimes obstacles are just detours in the right direction. So I feel like Spirit is really saying that you've been doing a great job already of trying to ride through this chaos and of this energy of feeling like the world is out to get you almost. Yeah, you might be tired, time for a nap. But you're so strong. With this Strength card here, I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, following the road less traveled is not easy. But when your soul is calling you to follow it, you know, what's that Robert Frost poem? That, you know, I take the road less traveled. I feel like that's you. And I feel like that's where you're going. And, you know, the people in your life, they might care about you and they might be worried, you know, it's like, well, what if you fail? But they're not asking, what if you succeed? And I think that at the end of the day, you know, you might not achieve your wildest dreams tomorrow, but if you, you know, follow the journey, you can have the entire world in your hands and reap really sweet benefits from it. I feel like any indecision you're feeling about what to do, deep down in your heart, you know what to do about this situation. I feel like MEGADECK 1 is just kind of affirming everything that's going on and that you do have the strength and the skills and just like the good karma and good energy around you to achieve what you want. You know, the biggest block, I think, in your case is the fact that maybe you're not getting the support from the people that you care about or people that, you know, you used to be close to. And I feel like that's making you question whether you can achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And I'm telling you that you can. You're definitely strong enough, and it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world. But the fact that you've maintained a decent attitude, I say decent because I'm sure you have, like we all do, we all have days where we're just like, man, fuck this, fuck everything, like I don't care, you know, I'm tired, I'm done. But I think that once you get back into your energy, the energy that truly feels like you realize what a fucking bad bitch you are. And I'm saying bitch in a gender neutral way. You recognize that you totally have the ability to achieve everything that you want. And it's not going to be easy, but that makes it so much more worth it. And, you know, it sucks that things can't just be handed to us, but working hard gives you grit. It gives you character. It gives you determination. And Spirit is saying that, like, if you just ride through the chaos and stick to your truth, like, there are plenty of blessings to come your way. Let's see, MEGADECK, what advice do you have for pile 1 when it comes to this endeavor and their life moving forward? What does pile 1 need to know? Okay, we have Yin. So this is representative of feminine energy. That's the second 2 we have out on the board. We have the World. What else? Okay, we also have appreciation and community. That's another 8 as well. And on the back of the deck, we have man holding a heart. So maybe this is a love situation for some of you. Interesting. So the advice. Well, to start off, no matter what gender you are, Spirit is definitely saying that being in your feminine energy could be helpful at this time. I think there's a need for you to be receptive, rather than, what's the word I was thinking of? I don't know, I just lost it. The point of what I'm trying to say is feminine energy receives, it doesn't necessarily give. Oh my gosh, something's up with my brain. And you're kind of like in this cycle. You're in this cycle right now that's kind of almost ready to come to a close. With this World card and this appreciation card here and community, I feel like one, Spirit is asking you to focus on the people in your life who are supportive of you. So maybe this is a romantic partner. This is somebody that's really close to you who is supportive of you. This could also be, it doesn't have to be a romantic interest. It could just be maybe somebody who you know genuinely cares about you. This could be a family member, a friend, somebody that is supportive of you, somebody that understands your heart and understands why you're going on this journey. They could be very helpful in terms of advice and support. I feel like Spirit is asking you to focus on the support that you do have in your life and not the support that you don't, because it sucks when people don't support us, but you know, not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever, like I was saying, and not everyone is always going to understand you, unfortunately. And I think that what I'm hearing is that when you look back on this time in your life, you're going to have a lot of appreciation for the things that fell away. You know, the World card here, what I'm kind of really noticing is that half of it is lit up and half of it is dark. So I feel like you're only seeing half of the story right now. And that's partially because you're still on this journey. And so I think that what Spirit is saying is that for right now, take it day by day. When you're feeling like you can't continue, when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling low, you know, reach out to the people that you know care about you, that do want the best for you and that do want to support you, because they're going to be the ones that will help you keep going. You know, the people that weren't there to support you, the people that fought you, the people that didn't believe in you and have maybe made you think that you can't be successful here, you know, they don't need to be in your life. They can fall away, and clearly they have fallen away for a reason. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't reconcile with them in the future or anything like that, but I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, because things just naturally fall away sometimes, and because certain things happen and we may not understand them, I feel like Spirit is asking you to look at these past situations that weigh heavy on you, and look at the good in them and appreciate the good times for what they were, and the good aspects that came from this connection. Like, I guess this could be a romantic connection, but I'm also just feeling friends. Like, you know, honestly, like, one thing I will say is, like, I think friend breakups are harder than romantic breakups, because, you know, I don't know, homies hit harder. That's all I can say. But I think that it's important for you to nurture yourself right now. And we have that appreciation, this 15 and this 51 mirrored. And I feel like Spirit is saying that once you reap the benefits, or begin to start reaping the benefits of whatever this endeavor is, you'll look back with appreciation that these people weren't in your circle anyway. Because if they're not here to support you, if they're not here to lift you up and show you that you can achieve things, like, I don't want this victory card in reverse. I want it to be upright, because you can achieve this shit. Like, look, you chose the animal deck. Literally, like, all you need to do is just put on your crown and realize that you're the shit, and like, go after what your heart is telling you to follow, because that's what you're meant to do, you know. Oh, and look who's hiding under the man holding a heart, patience, and the door to personal healing and happiness. That is so beautiful. I feel like Spirit is really saying, like, some things take time, you know. I actually got in a fortune cookie the other day, you know, time heals everything, and it really is true. But I feel like whatever it is you're going after, it could be very fruitful financially, and it might take time. You might have to make some investments first, but even this move you're making, you know, you might meet the romantic partner that you're meant to meet, or you might strengthen your bond with someone you're currently with, or, you know, you just might meet people who are more supportive of you. Whatever it is, I feel like Spirit is saying, it's okay, especially if you have a lot of masculine energy and you have a hard time acknowledging your emotions. Part of the advice relates to acknowledging those emotions so that you can help purge them, because when you hold them in, then they just like grow and they create more stress within you. So if you have an excess of masculine energy, I feel like Spirit is giving you the yin card and asking you to kind of balance that masculine and that feminine energy, because, you know, you still have to nurture yourself. You still have to express your emotions. Like, it's not healthy for anybody to be acting like their emotions aren't real, or that whatever they're going through, it doesn't matter, you know. Everybody needs to be nurtured. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are or who you are. Like, everybody needs to nurture themselves, and everybody needs that love. So I feel like if it's almost like, yeah, if you're holding your heart out like at a distance, like not wanting to acknowledge it, Spirit's asking you to be more receptive to what your heart is telling you, because I feel like you're entering this cycle, this new part of your journey that's going to take a lot of strength. But I think the benefits of it are you're not only going to have an abundance of money and objects, but I think there's going to be an abundance of support in a new community by taking this opportunity. And I understand, yeah, oh my God, with the storm warning under here. And there's the man holding the coin. What did I say? Love and money. You might be feeling averse, is averse a word, or just fearful of taking this opportunity because it seems risky. It seems like things could go to shit and you've already been fighting so much anyway. But Spirit is really saying, you know, there will be calm after this storm, even if there is some type of storm. You are strong enough to get through anything that you might encounter. And I feel like if your soul is calling you to make a decision or do something, you know, it's calling you for a reason. And it's really important that you listen to it, because the abundance you're going to gain through this opportunity, this endeavor, is going to make it, like, in hindsight, once you're at this point, you're going to look back with so much appreciation for all that you went through and understand why you went through these challenges. And you're going to be like, damn, like, I really am the shit. Like, I really am that strong. And Spirit is saying, like, yes, you are, and you deserve to feel that way. And I'm sorry if this reading is, like, really vague. I feel like it is vague. It might just be for a lot of different people, but I feel like the overall energy is just that you're uncertain of yourself, and there are people in your life that aren't supportive of whatever you're going after, and it's tough on you, and understandably, I think that's tough on anyone. But I feel like what Spirit is saying, whatever falls away in your life, it is going to be replaced with something much better that will make you even happier. So don't be sad of what leaves you, because something much greater is meant to take its place. So what I'm going to do now is get some channeled messages from your spirit guides or the universe, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like Spirit is saying too, you know, if you've been feeling called to travel, there's a lot about travel in this deck. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, obviously be safe because, you know, Rona, but also I think that, like, the yearnings of your soul are calling you, and even if the people in your life don't think it's a good idea, or they're not being supportive of you, it's not their life and they don't have to make that choice. That's you. And I feel like you deserve to make the choice that feels right to you. We have 3 8s actually. Yeah, we have 8, 8, and 8. That's dope. Okay, so Spirit, what do you want to say to pile 1? What messages do you have for pile 1, please? Okay, looks like these guys want to come out. Okay, so that's interesting because I saw this card when I was cutting it. So boundaries. Boundaries, barriers. I feel like it came out with boundaries. I forgot that I gave this card like 2 options. Like, and I love the sticker that I use for this, because I feel like this is just evidence that you can be soft and also be firm. Like, you don't have to be mean to assert boundaries. I feel like Spirit is saying here that it's important that you assert boundaries with people that make you feel uncomfortable, or that make you feel like you're not going to be successful, and that it's okay to assert them. But we also have pause until you're sure. So even though I'm like, bro, do it, like make this decision if you haven't already, like, it's okay to not just watch this reading and then be like, okay, I'm doing it. Spirit is saying, you know, give yourself all the time you need, but I'm telling you, the answers that you're looking for are already inside of you. But, you know, I feel like for a lot of you, you already know that you're sure about this. Maybe you need to take more time or spend more time on it. But what I would definitely say is that you're a lot further on this journey than you think you are. And I feel like either mentally or emotionally, you're already at the point to make this decision. It's one of the other that needs to catch up. Like, either mentally you're like, like, screw this, I'm gonna do it, but then your heart is like, well, I don't want to leave behind these people, or your heart is like, yes, I want to do this, and then mentally you're like, well, I might fail. Well, what if I fail? How am I gonna support myself? It's kind of like a, oh, okay, so we also have thank you for being a friend. So I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, the people that are your true homies, they're always going to appreciate you, and they're always going to see you as a good friend. And I think that, you know, this move, this new opportunity that you might be going for, you never know who could come into your life, or the types of friends that might enter your life. We also have acceptable. So this is from Adventure Time, and if you ever find that your life is in unacceptable conditions, I feel like Spirit is asking you to accept who you are, because not only are you acceptable, but you're just awesome in general, and you need to have more appreciation for yourself and like just the sweet being that you are. And even if you don't see yourself as sweet, I think that you're really sweet, just because your energy, even when like shit is against you and people like shit on you, you still try and find a way to be optimistic, or just find like hope, or just get through the day. Like, you're not a quitter by any means. And I think that's what's important to know about this victory card, is like, even if you fail, that's just a lesson so that you can be successful the next time, or the next time, or the next time. You're strong and you're not going to give up. And I think that your tenacity and your grit is something that's going to really pay off here and add to this abundance. With this acceptable card, I feel like Spirit is saying that you need to accept that your path isn't the same as everyone else's, and that your journey might be lonely sometimes, but you're strong enough to get through it, and the connections you make and the opportunities you receive from it will be more than worth it. I really feel like your heart or your head already knows this, and it's one or the other that's holding you back. But yeah, you're more than acceptable. You have to realize how special you are, and you deserve to follow the opportunities and the yearnings of your soul. You shouldn't have to hold back. Oh my gosh, okay. So what I love what's on the back of the deck. First of all, we have who is against the queen will die, which is exactly kind of what I was saying. This is a 90 Day Fiance reference, by the way, but anybody who is not for your journey, Spirit is going to take them away for you, because they're not a real friend. They're not a real homie. And you deserve people that are going to support you in your life and in your dreams. So we also have integrity is essential. Stick to your morals and honor your inner compass. So yeah, do what feels right to you. You know, don't stoop to somebody's level. You know, take the high road. Just make sure, you know, when you make this decision, you make it with integrity. You know, don't do things that you feel like you'll regret. And I think that's kind of what this yin energy is talking about. Just, I feel like when it comes to the chaos and conflict, I feel like you should just let people show you who they are, and if they're willing to support you or not, and accept that for what it is. You know, act with integrity for yourself. I feel like that defensive energy, being on defense, kind of needs to be maintained a little bit. Because I think when you look back in hindsight, you're going to be glad that you were more receptive and you weren't like active or impulsive. You know, I really get heavy like Leo and Aries energy from this, maybe Taurus as well. Just kind of like stubborn and prideful energy. And so I could see, you know, maybe sometimes you might get hot-headed, or you might just be like really frustrated, and you might say things that you regret. I do feel like even just channeling you guys has been a little difficult for me. I have no idea if this reading is going to resonate or make sense at all, but it does just feel like you'll get the best results by being in more of a passive energy and just allowing things to happen rather than trying to control it, or being confrontational about it. Because I feel like the people that are against you anyway are they're not going to be objective. Like, they're only looking from their perspective, and so even if you confront them about this, they're just not going to see it in an accurate light anyway, and it's almost like a waste of breath. But we also have the hardest part is getting started. Follow your gut. It won't lead you astray. And I love this because this is so true. This is exactly what I'm saying. And we also have mind over matter. Thank you, Spirit. I love when they just back me up. Because I literally, the only person that you need to tell you that you can succeed is yourself. It doesn't matter if people think you can't. It's your job to prove them wrong. It's not your job to tell you that you're unacceptable and that you can't do it. You are so acceptable. And I think that the universe wants to create acceptable conditions for you to reap all this abundance. So I'm going to finish off with some positive guidance cards now. This is the Pass On the Smiles deck. So Spirit, what positive affirmations do you want to give to pile 1, please? What positive affirmations do you have for pile 1, please? One more. Positive affirmations do you have for pile 1? Okay. So the back of the deck is you're appreciated. Your friends and family appreciate you more than you know. So that's what I was saying about the people that are meant to be in your life are going to appreciate you and support you in your endeavors. And the people that don't, like, they're meant to fall away, because the universe doesn't want anyone in your life that is not going to support you following your dreams. When your soul calls you to do something, it's calling you to do something for a reason. It's because it's kind of where you're being led on your path. And if you ever feel like, am I on the right path? Ask yourself if you're happy. Now, none of us are ever truly happy all the time, but can you say that you're generally happy? You know, happiness, there's one card in another deck that says happiness is a sign that I'm on the right path. So if something makes you happy, that's a good sign. But we also have coincidences. Take note of the coincidences which are occurring around you right now. The universe is trying to have a say in your life. Yeah, I definitely feel that. The universe is really, like, kind of coming in strong and being like, okay, so we kind of want you to make this decision, but I mean, it's up to you. Like you don't have to be too intense about it. You can wait until you're sure, but, like, homie, we really want you to do this, dude. And finally, we also have spirituality. By opening your mind up to spirituality, you become more thoughtful and peaceful. Your spiritual journey is inspiring to others. And yeah, this makes a lot of sense. You know, there's a lot about journeys here. And I feel like for you, it's maybe less so about a single destination. And it's just knowing that you have the support to get wherever you're going to get. And I feel like Spirit is saying that not only do you have spiritual support, but the more you follow the yearnings of your soul, the more likely it is that you're going to find people that not only have the same perspective as you, but also appreciate you for the wonderful being that you are and will want to support you in all of your dreams. So pile 1, I think I'm going to leave this reading here. I really hope it resonated. I had definitely a hard time channeling this one. I feel like it was a little all over the place, but hopefully you got the messages that you needed. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. Definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates, if it does. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like and subscribed and click that little bell notification so that you can be notified whenever I upload a reading. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the Weaver Tarot, this is going to be your reading on what the universe wants you to know right now. So the first card you drew, or picked, I guess, is meant to represent your overall energy. So you are being represented by the Conqueror of Coins, which is in normal tarot deck, the Knight of Pentacles. So you could be an earth sign or have earth placements. That would be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You certainly don't have to be. But I feel like what Spirit is highlighting for you is that there is a goal that you have. Whatever it may be, it is likely something to do with work, but it certainly doesn't have to be. It could be like a personal endeavor. It could be literally anything. But the point is that either you are already actively working towards this goal and you're being very methodical about it. You're getting organized, you're strategizing, you're putting the work in, and Spirit is acknowledging that and saying, you know, you're on the right track. You're getting where you need to go, and we're really proud of you. You might be a little bit bored with how monotonous life might be, but I feel like you're doing your best to just keep your nose keep your nose to the grindstone and keep working on what it is that you're doing. If not that, I think there is a second group of people who know that they need to get organized in order to achieve some kind of goal. So for some of you, I'm kind of getting this idea like you have a goal, like you envision something in your head that you want to achieve, or maybe you've already started it and you're just not where you want to be, or you're having a hard time seeing your plans come to fruition. And I think it's because there might be a lack of organization, or like just a feeling of being out of control. So if you've been kind of just experiencing, oh my god, why does my nose keep getting stuffed up? I literally had to stop this pile and restart because my nose like got stuffed up. So I don't know if you guys are like stuffy or something, but I feel stuffy. Jesus. Anyway, I'm going to get some more insight on this, but definitely for those of you who are feeling a bit out of control and disorganized, Spirit is saying the reason why you feel like you need to get organized is because in order to achieve this goal that you're going after, you need to be. But what I do want to mention with the Knight of Pentacles, while the progress may seem slow and methodical and monotonous and boring, the Knight of Pentacles always gets where he needs to go. So Spirit is saying that whatever this goal is, the more meticulous and planned you are about how you go about this goal, the better off you will be and the more successful you'll be. Like, I feel like this is like success is assured, but you'll reap what you sow, essentially. But let's get some more details about what's going on. So okay, we have the King of Cups. All right, what else is going on in pile two's life, please, Spirit? What else is, okay. We also have the Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Seven of Wands upright. And on the back of the deck, we have the Conqueror of Swords in reverse. Okay, so this is very interesting. So these could definitely be interpreted in a multitude of ways. The first thing that I'm seeing here is that you might have not started this project yet. I definitely feel like you're keeping quiet about it. Like, it's on the down low. And if not, I feel like Spirit is saying that you might want to keep your plans on the down low. I think it's because with the Seven of Wands here, you might face a lot of adversity, or I feel like it's maybe something more about not attracting attention to yourself until more has happened in this situation. With the King of Cups, there could be somebody in your life who you really care about and want their support or want to collaborate with. But more of what I'm getting here is that you have the emotional maturity to get through this goal, is kind of like what I'm hearing with this Ruler of Cups here. You might lead with your emotions a lot. You don't have to, but I kind of get this energy of like, for those of you who are not getting organized but know that they need to, I think this is definitely highlighting how you have the ability to put in the work, but you need to be willing to ground the ideas and ground everything going on in your head, even if it's just journaling. But there's also, while I was doing that, why I paused, I was hearing isolation. So maybe for some of you, while I was just saying you might want to keep things on the DL, you know, the Three of Pentacles is all about collaboration. And the Knight of Swords in reverse here is kind of making me show that, like, you might be like maybe you need help with this goal in some way, and you might be like isolating yourself or being like entirely self-reliant to the point where you're maybe not getting as much as you'd like done. Maybe also there's a lot of emotional investment in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and so you're extra hard on yourself about failures, and even when you succeed, you might be like, yeah, but I could do better. You might be the type of person where you're just kind of hard on yourself all the time. Why am I stuffed up? This is so frustrating. You guys, this pile, I don't know if y'all have like colds or something, but you guys are making me stuffed up to the point where I have to drink water. Anyway, I think one thing that's going to aid you in this endeavor is the fact that you have the capabilities of not making really rash decisions. And if you do typically make rash decisions, I feel like Spirit is saying you need to be very calculated about how you make decisions when it comes to this endeavor. But with the Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Seven of Wands upright, achieving this goal might be an uphill battle. Because the Three of Pentacles also talks about collaboration, you might have to prove yourself to people who are higher up in like positions, if this is job related, or have more experience in something that you're trying to achieve. But I feel like there's maybe this assumption or this fear that everybody's out to get you, or that nobody will want to support you. But I think that if you're earnest and you have a plan and you work towards it, the universe will want to reap those benefits and people will actually start to take notice. But I think whatever this is, whatever is going on right now, if you were attracted to pile one, you might want to watch that one as well. But it ended up being like 45 minutes, so I don't blame you if you don't want to. But what I'm kind of seeing here is that there's definitely a need to be methodical and careful about how you go about this goal of yours. I think there's a lot of emotional investment in it. And so I think the best thing you can do for yourself is not make rash decisions or something like that. Or that's kind of like what you're trying to do. But we're going to ask MEGADECK. The whole point of this is we're asking MEGADECK for advice. So let's switch gears and see what MEGADECK has to say. But of course, since MEGADECK is so mega, we're dividing her into two MEGADECks. So we'll start with MEGADECK 1 and we'll do MEGADECK 2 later. So MEGADECK 2 will be advice, but MEGADECK 1 she'll just be giving her thoughts, what she needs you to know. Okay, so MEGADECK, what do you want to say to pile 2? What are your thoughts on their situation? What do they need to know? Okay, hostilities. Yeah, so there may definitely be people who aren't supportive of this goal, or that you might feel like you can't tell people about this goal. We also have making a choice. Anxiety. What else do you want to say to pile 2? MEGADECK. Okay, this guy wants to fall out. Okay, yin yang in reverse. And then on the back of the deck, we have follow the leader. Okay. So yeah, I could definitely see that ruler of cups being somebody, being like a mentor of some kind, somebody that's emotionally mature and somebody that's kind of willing to take you on as a pupil, or willing to collaborate with you. Once again, I'm sensing that energy of like, with that Seven of Wands that we had, where is it? The Seven of Wands, it's like, I feel like there's this fear of like the world is out to get you, and that the world doesn't want to see you succeed. And maybe that's just, it's actually very likely that a lot of that is all in your head. But I think that there's a twofold, like, depending on your situation, the interpretation is going to be different. But I feel like for those of you who want to ground this idea, who want to go after this goal, you might be holding back because you're unsure of how to organize yourself, or you're unsure of how to ground these ideas. And I feel like what MEGADECK is saying is that even if you don't necessarily know how to ground these ideas, taking action towards trying to is going to be very useful to you. With this anxiety card, I feel like you might be really hostile towards your own ideas. And maybe that's because you have a lot of emotional investment in what it is that you want to achieve. But I feel like Spirit is saying, MEGADECK is saying, excuse me, that no choice is a choice. And when it comes to making a choice, you have to take... Well, I'm hearing the road less traveled again. Okay, you might want to watch Pile 1. Pile 1 might be right for you as well. But I feel like what MEGADECK is saying is that masculine energy is definitely going to be useful to you, because when this yin yang card is in reverse, taking action is definitely going to be very important. I feel like with this follow the leader card, if there's somebody that is already in this like field or has followed this path, I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, look to them for inspiration, see how they did things. Obviously, you don't have to copy it like verbatim, but look to see how they have achieved their dreams and what they've done, and go from there. You know, I feel like you have a lot of big dreams, a lot of things that you want to achieve. You know, that 21 reduces to a 3, and that 30 reduces to 3. You know, 3 is a very spiritual number. It's a number of expansion. And I think that in order to achieve this goal, it's kind of like a body, mind, spirit thing. Like you have to be all in it, because I think that there are going to be challenges with this choice. And I do think that I feel like, okay, sorry, I had to pause, because this anxiety card, to me, I feel like one thing that Spirit is saying is that you need to make your choice with conviction, whatever this choice is. If you're going, like, let's say, for example, this goal of yours, like, you know, you're being that Knight of Pentacles and you're working towards something. You know, you're putting your nose to the grindstone every single day, you're working hard, but maybe you're not reaping the benefits. And so you're like, okay, well, I want to start this other endeavor. I know I can do it, but I'm just afraid to make that jump. It's kind of just like MEGADECK is saying, you need to know what is real and what isn't. And for example, with like this anxiety card, you know, I always hear the acronym, fear is false evidence appearing real. And I think that a lot of your fears are based more in an illusion than in a reality. And while there might be hostilities towards you in pursuing this endeavor, I feel like it's not going to be as ill received as you think it is. In fact, I think Spirit just wants you to try, like, to take some kind of action, because you might see a lot sooner how successful you can be in this. And one thing that I'm kind of noticing, you know, with this follow the leader, you know, the number 4 is a number of foundations. And I think that's kind of what the Knight of Pentacles is all about, really, is like creating that foundation slowly but surely, so that, you know, he can get to his destination, he can reach his goals. And I think one thing that's holding you back is this fear of people being against you, this fear of not being able to do it, and the fear of making a choice. I think that there is a lot of inactivity here. So that's maybe where you would be different from Pile 1. But it's almost like Spirit is saying, you know, not taking any action is an action. And at some point you are going to have to take action towards your dreams. Otherwise, they are just going to stay in your head unrealized and unfulfilled. But let's get some advice from MEGADECK 2 and see what MEGADECK 2 wants to tell you. Just kind kind of a shitty shuffle. And all the energy cards are together. This is a funny reading because I genuinely, honestly have no idea if any of this is resonating, but I hope it is. Damn it. Come on, MEGADECK. She's the star of the show. Like, you need to shuffle correctly. I just wanted to try MEGADECK, so hopefully this works. But anyway, MEGADECK 2, what advice do you have for pile 2? What do you want pile 2 to know about this situation? I feel called to take this. Okay, so we have the 6th chakra archangel Metatron, or as I like to say, Megatron. Very fitting. And that's the second 40 too. We also have the Magician and the Mirror. Oh my gosh, you guys are so much more powerful than you think you are. MEGADECK 2 is calling you out on it. What other advice do you have for... Okay, we also have Poised. I'm hearing don't stoop to somebody else's level. What else do you want to say? Okay, I've been called to take this one. And Envy. Okay, and then on the back of the deck we have Door to Spirit. So there could definitely be a spiritual component to this endeavor of yours, this goal you're trying to achieve. Maybe honestly, maybe this like doesn't have anything to do with work, but part of you just knows that in order for you to be more successful and to be happier in life, you need to kind of surrender to new habits and release things that are no longer serving you. And honestly, that's always scary. It's always hard to make changes in your life, and there are always going to be people that just want to hold you back. I'm hearing the term leveling. And if you don't know what leveling is when somebody is intimidated by your level. They view themselves to be below your level. And so they will either be mean to you or demean you or just be haters, honestly, because they want to bring you to their level. They want you to stoop to their level. And I feel like Spirit is really saying with these cards especially, not to let that shit get in your way. Because I feel like you're already the type of person who, you know, faces adversity with grace and isn't afraid to, like, turn the other cheek and just, like, move forward. But I feel like one big thing that Spirit is kind of saying is that the reason why you're having these yearnings to really buckle down and get shit done and follow your dreams, even if they haven't been realized yet, is because it's part of your spiritual journey. It's part of like your soul's path that it wants to follow. And I honestly think with this Door to Spirit and this Follow the Leader, your soul needs to be the leader here, because I think that you're having a hard time telling the difference between what's your intuition and what your anxiety is. And so I will say right now, anxiety screams, intuition whispers. Intuition always comes through in a very clear and calm way. And anxiety will be like, hey buddy, you can't do this, or I don't think you should do that, because like everything might catch on fire and things might be bad, or it's a lot more chaotic in how it communicates. But I think Archangel Metatron has big plans for you, and this specific archangel might be communicating with you. Your psychic abilities might be increasing, and that might be something that feels very weird to you, and you might even be hostile towards that because it doesn't feel real. But I feel like what Spirit is saying is that, okay, first of all, not everybody's gonna ever understand you, and that's okay. You are so powerful, and I feel like Spirit is saying no matter what choice you make in life, no matter what path you follow, that's going to be the right path, because you're all, as long as, well, let me rephrase that. It's always going to be the right path so long as you're standing in your power and recognizing that you are making this choice with conviction, that you are following this path with conviction. I feel like Spirit wants you to make decisions and not be like, make the decision and be done with it. Don't make the decision and then be like, oh, well, what if maybe I should have done the other thing. What if I had done the other thing? It doesn't matter. You didn't do the other thing. You did this thing. So you need to be focused on that. If you're not happy, if things need to change, let's address that. But I feel like Spirit wants you to stop looking in the past. And I feel like also there might be people that you look up to, that you want to be on their level. You might be envious of them and you might want to achieve those things. And Spirit is saying you can absolutely achieve them, but you have to believe in yourself. And there might be a need to surrender spiritually and kind of accept that the things that you're trying to do might not make logical sense, but there's an inner knowing, a deep knowing that is deeper than this logic that says you need to follow this path. And I feel like that will help you more than anything, like just following those yearnings. But also, I think that there are people in your life with this envy card. I feel like Spirit is saying, like, you're gonna have haters. And while that sucks, we all want everybody to like us. You simply cannot exist without people disliking you. And honestly, it's better to make a statement than be agreeable to everyone, right? But with this Poised card, I feel like Spirit is saying that any challenges come your way, you have the abilities to overcome them. I mean, the Magician is so powerful. And on top of like poise, and is clearly you've got spiritual support between Door to Spirit and the 6th chakra with Archangel Metatron here. I think you're really the only one holding yourself back. However, because there was 2 different camps. There were the people who haven't grounded the ideas yet, but know they need to get shit together and get organized. There are people that already are and are kind of bored in life and are like, am I doing the right thing? Like, you have been working towards your goals and maybe you're not reaping the success yet, or all the success that you want. And I feel like there's a need to be patient with that and trust that you're following the right path. But I'm also hearing dream bigger. Dream bigger than you're already dreaming, because this is powerful. And I feel like with this hostilities card, it's like you're worried about people being against you. And so you just don't do things. Or maybe you're afraid of criticism, or people doubting you, or people hating on you, or hating on your abilities. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, that very well might happen, but do you really want to let that bring you down? Like, that's so lame. Like, I'm not calling you lame, but like, it's totally lame to not follow your dreams and not express yourself because you might be worried that like other people won't agree with you. Because newsflash, people are not going to agree with you anyway. People are not going to support your choices anyway, because like it's just a part of life. Like, nobody is ever humans will never like agree on everything. It just it doesn't happen. And so I feel like Spirit is saying you'll feel a lot less anxious towards these goals once you just keep taking action and build upon the action that you take, and trust that there's a deeper reason behind why you're doing all of this, you know. And I think there's an importance in taking the high road and not stooping to anybody's level that tells you that you can't do something, or tells you that you're not going to be successful, because clearly they're just projecting their own insecurities onto you, and they don't have the leadership abilities. They don't have the can-do attitude. They don't have this magician shit to get shit done clearly. And so they're just going to stay in the dark and be jealous of you. But I feel like if you're still in the dark and wanting to achieve these dreams, but you're afraid to because of what people might think, Spirit is saying that you're going to stay there. And they don't want you to stay there. They want you to go after your dreams and live your life and feel free, and not feel like you have to act according to what other people think. You know, you're meant to just take action and be that golden light that other people want to embody, because you are so powerful and your soul is calling you down this path for a reason. It's time to accept that and be open to that. So I'm going to get some channeled messages now from your spirit guides. And what I see already, your spiritual team is supporting your dreams, 333. So if you've been seeing 333 a lot, I would take note of that. But let's see here, Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 2? Okay. A message from us will come to you in the form of a conversation with a stranger. So be on the lookout for that. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I will take this one. This too will pass. So yeah, if maybe like, especially if you're already on this endeavor and you're worried that like things aren't going to work out, I feel like Spirit is saying this time of like fear or this time of boredom or like feeling like things aren't progressing will pass. I'm kind of getting like 7 of Pentacles energy, like kind of just waiting for the seeds you've planted to flourish into something. But even if like you haven't started this endeavor yet, I feel like it's more about trusting that whatever is going on, like it is going to, the fears are gonna pass. Any haters, like you're not gonna be thinking about the haters when you're 80 years old and like chilling. Like you're gonna think about all the things that you did achieve. You know, I think it's better to do things than to ask what if I did them. You know what I mean? That's just me. Everybody's different, and obviously, you know, you have free will, do what's right to you, but we also, this came out in pile 1 too, so we have pause until you're sure. So I definitely think, you know, if you have to give it time, that's absolutely fine. Give yourself all the time you need, but also remember that inaction is inaction. I'm sorry, I'm probably making you more anxious, am I? We also have the fish from SpongeBob saying, trust your gut. I literally feel like your guides are probably staring at you like this right now. Like, hello? Like, you know what you're meant to do. Trust your gut. Like, we're giving you this shit for a reason. Like, sure, yeah, pause until you're sure. You're honestly, you're probably going to want to watch pile 1 because this is basically the same message over and over. But we have... Okay, we have thank you for being a friend on the back of the deck. And first of all, what do we gotta say? You're golden. But also, I feel like this is like your guides, kind of. Like saying like, hey, be a friend to us. And if you've been acknowledging your guides more, they're happy that they're able to communicate with you more. But also, I think that, you know, you are a really good friend to other people. And maybe that's something that stops you from fully investing in yourself. So be aware of when maybe you sacrifice your own needs and your boundaries to help other people. But I feel like Spirit is also saying that the real, like the real friends in your life, the real homies, they are going to be supportive of your dreams and they're going to help you get there. You know, maybe they're not able to, you know, drop what they're doing and help you, but they're still going to be supportive of you and they're going to want you to follow what makes you happy. Anyone that's jealous of you or is hostile towards you, that's not a true friend. We also have when you see things, when you see through the eyes of love, life doesn't feel as heavy. So I love this because I think it just really goes to show, like, if you love yourself and you know that at the end of the day that you matter and that your dreams matter and that you're worthy of a good life and of love solely because you exist, I feel like that's going to make your life easier. And if you love yourself, any mistakes you make, any bumps in the road, any challenges you face, when you look at it through like, this is okay, this is normal, this is natural, I love myself and I'll get through this, it will help. And of course, I should have read this because it says we can only give you what you deem yourself to be worthy of. And this is so true, because if you don't think you're worthy of following these dreams, of reaping these rewards, you're always going to be in the dark. You're always going to feel like there's something missing in your life. And I feel like Spirit is just kind of asking you to surrender to those desires. We also have energy flows where your attention goes. Oh my God, this one's long. But this is also very true. This is all about, you know, if you're giving all your energy to your anxiety or fears, then that's all you're going to be focused on. But if you give your energy to grounding these ideas, to grounding a plan, then you're gonna get a lot further where you're going, and it's gonna be easier for you to see how this path might be laid out. You know, it's a lot harder to see how things might work out in our head, but once we start grounding them into reality, then we can say, oh, okay, this is working, this is not working, and you can tweak. But also we have hello from heaven. The first loved one that comes to your mind is currently making their presence known to remind you how much they love you. They are still with you. So yeah, so maybe some of you are missing a loved one, are really wishing for their guidance. I feel like they are supporting you in this endeavor, protecting you with this endeavor. If there is nobody that has passed in your life, then this card might not be for you. But for those of you who are you know, maybe just worried about not having the support, or just really missing, maybe this person that passed could have been really supportive, I feel like Spirit is really saying, you know, you have their support. They want to help you. They're probably looking at you like, why are you not following your dreams? Like, life is meant to be lived, not just in your house, fearful or whatever. Okay. So we're gonna get you some positive affirmation cards and see what else Spirit wants to say. So pile 2, Spirit, what do you want pile 2 to know at this time, please? What do you want pile 2 to know? So first we have, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't waste your precious energy worrying about the small things. Refocus your thoughts towards love, abundance, and tranquility. Exactly. Energy flows where your attention goes. What else do you want to tell them? Be proud. You should be so incredibly proud of yourself and what you have achieved. Reward yourself. Yeah, especially for those people who've already been working at this, you know. Don't be afraid to reward yourself. You know, you don't have to wait for some big milestone. If you've been working hard, that's enough. And honestly, even if you haven't started yet, you should just be proud that you're even considering it, or that you know that you need to take action towards it, because not everyone takes action towards their dreams, and even the intention to take action is a feat in itself. So I think that you should just be proud that you're here, and that you have dreams, and that you are going for what you want, because that's what keeps us going. Like, you know, like, if we don't have dreams, what else do we have? You know what I mean? But on the back of the deck, we have self-love. It's time to fall in love with yourself. You come first. And I agree. I think it's really time to start believing that you come first. And I love what's underneath this. Be fearlessly you. It's time to become fearlessly you. This is the most powerful step you can take towards living your best life. Don't worry about what others think. And I totally agree. I think whatever journey you're on, whatever you are trying to achieve, Spirit is really saying, you know, you have everything that you need to achieve it. You're smart, you're capable, you're driven. You just need to ground those ideas and believe that you can achieve them. And one of the things that we have to accept is that, you know, sometimes people are not going to be supportive of us, and sometimes people are going to be haters. But when people hate on you, that is much more a reflection of them than it is of you. And the more you look at yourself through the eyes of love, the more you'll realize that. And the more you love yourself, the more you'll realize how much you deserve to achieve these dreams, and how much you deserve wonderful things and all the abundance in the world. You deserve love, you deserve abundance, you deserve peace. And I think following what Spirit is, following the yearnings of your soul, and following what Spirit is telling you to do, is going to bring you closer, not only to your spirituality, but also to yourself. And you're gonna see how the people that you once looked up to and admired, you're gonna be their peers. You're gonna be somebody that other people look up to and admire, and you're gonna be in their place one day. But you'll never get there if you just stay in your head and don't act because you're afraid. You shouldn't be afraid. You're way more powerful than you think you are. You're like a Harry Potter ass person. You can achieve whatever you want. You're so powerful. You know, Harry Potter's family, they're a bunch of haters. Like, don't let a Dudley like hold you down. You deserve way more than that. You are all kings and queens, and you deserve to be proud of yourself for whatever you do or don't achieve, because just existing is very hard. And yeah, you just deserve to be kind to yourself and love to yourself. But I'm going to leave this reading here, pile 2. I really hope this resonated in any way, shape, or form. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through if you did, and for letting me read your cards. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. Definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and hit that little notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a reading. Thank you guys so much for everything. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me soon. Bye. Hi there, Pile 3. If you guys chose the Affirmators Tarot, this is going to be your reading, a message from the universe. So this card is going to represent your overall energy, and then I'm going to use the tarot cards to get more details. And then we're going to see MEGADECK's thoughts and what MEGADECK wants you to know, MEGADECK's advice, and then we're going to get channeled messages from your guides and positive affirmations to finish off. So let's go ahead and start. So your card is the Knight of Swords. So you could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or have earth placements. You certainly don't have to be. But whatever is going on, I'm definitely feeling this energy of excitement. And I feel like a rush like in my stomach, and like my hands like are like a little more shaky than normal. And I really feel like there's something in your life that you are really excited for, that you know that's coming. This could be a person, this could be a job, this could be a new endeavor, maybe you're moving somewhere. It could be a lot of different things, but whatever it is, I feel like Spirit is kind of highlighting that you do deserve to be excited for this endeavor. Using logic is definitely the primary modality that you're using, and I think that this is an affirmation that I guess my dryer is telling you good job for whatever you're doing, or that you should be excited. Let's get some more details before I say too much. So Spirit, what else is going on in Pile 3's life? What is this Knight of Swords about? What do I need to know about Pile 3? Okay. We have the Seven of Cups, a Four of Swords in reverse. I'm hearing this is something you've been dreaming about, or like in either daydreaming or night dreaming, or maybe both, and you're like finally ready to take action towards it. Let's see what else. Okay. We also have the Star in reverse, and on the back of the deck, the Eight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so whatever this goal is, wait, was that? Yeah, that's 5 cards. Oh my gosh. We have Aquarius energy with the Star here. But yeah, we have a lot of mental energy here. And I feel like one of the biggest things that I'm seeing here is that this is something that you've been wanting for a while. For some of you, this could be a relationship. For others, this could be a job opportunity. It could be a fresh start somewhere. It could be, honestly, it could be a multitude of things. But I feel like Spirit is acknowledging that you're finally getting out of your head and going after it with a level of fierceness and determination. There might be some confusion or some fears of uncertainty, like is this the path I should be following, or am I really ready? I feel like Spirit is saying whenever you have moments of uncertainty or a lack of clarity, your logic could help kind of cut through that. But I think one thing that Spirit is noting is that even though you're going after this goal and you're excited and you're energized, you're kind of going in with no expectations, or maybe even possibly a bit fearful. Like you don't want to mess this opportunity up, or you don't want to make any mistakes. This situation might be kind of high stakes. Maybe steak is involved. But with this Knight of Swords here, I think that one thing to note is that in this deck particularly, They call this Knight of Swords the cokehead of the deck. Their words, not mine. I'm not saying that you do that. And they don't support that, but they are just saying that there's a lot of energy and you might act impulsively. And so I think Spirit is saying, you know, it's great to be excited about this. It's great to be motivated towards this. This is clearly something that you've wanted for a really long time. This is something that you've been dreaming about, and you're ready to make it a reality. But I definitely think there's maybe some fears of messing it up, some fears of acting impulsively. But there is one accomplishment here, and it's the fact that you're kind of out of that mode of waiting for things to happen and being ready to take dynamic action towards something. And I don't know, I admire you, pile 3, because even though you don't know if things will end well, and there might be high stakes here, there might be people that you care about watching you succeed or fail, or you know, especially if this is like a romantic interest, like if you're going towards that, you know, maybe if you like for example, if you have history with this person, or you just have a bad past with relationships, you might just be afraid that things will go to shit, or that you might mess something up. And like, I feel like you're trying to be as clear as possible, because I think for a long time you are in a very stagnant energy and just trying to decide what to do. And no matter what, I feel like and with the star being Aquarius energy as well, you know, maybe you are in more of this passive energy in February specifically. It is March now, so if you're watching this when I'm filming, you know, maybe February was a time of reflection, or maybe you weren't sure where this was going. But I do feel a lot of I feel like butterflies and excitement. And so I feel like whatever this goal is, Spirit is really saying you do deserve to be excited. This is something that you've wanted. Just, you know, make sure to act with, to not make such hasty decisions, but also, this technically isn't the advice part. We go to MEGADECK for that. But I think that Spirit is just is applauding you on your ability to charge forward, even if you are unsure of the outcome, and you may not exactly know where this is headed, or what is going to happen here. So that is pretty awesome. Anything else that I am noting? Yeah, I feel like you're just ready to take action after a long period of reflection, and I think that like, you're being very realistic about things. Like, you're trying to not be hopeful and think of like everything will be perfect and amazing, but you're still trying to be bold and move towards this goal, whatever it may be. So Spirit is definitely commending you for that. So let's see what MEGADECK has to say about all of this. I'm very excited. If you don't know who MEGADECK is, and you better go back and watch the intro, you little intro skipper, you. But MEGADECK is so mega that I have to cut her into 2 MEGADECKs. So MEGADECK 1 is just going to give MEGADECK's thoughts, and then MEGADECK 2 is going to give MEGADECK's advice. I hate that I made this such a thing, but at the same time I love it. Okay, let's give her a little shuffle first. I feel like for some of you this definitely is love related, which is kind of funny because it's all about swords, but I think that you're trying to be maybe, I get kind of like a Pisces energy from this pile. So maybe you have Pisces placements, if not air placements, or just water placements. I do just feel like you're trying to not be dreamy about things. Like, you're trying to be realistic so that like your feelings don't get hurt, right? That's kind of the energy I'm picking up on, or that you don't end up disappointed or something like that. But let's see, MEGADECK, what are your thoughts? What do you want to say to pile 3? Ooh, we have cornucopia. Love to see it. So with the cornucopia right away, I would say, oh, hell yeah, blossoming abundance. Damn, go off, MEGADECK. I agree. So clearly whatever this goal is, it actually, Spirit is really happy that you are actually finally going towards this goal. Happy family. This is so awesome. I love this. Okay. One more card, MEGADECK. What do you want to say? Okay. Well, I guess you're getting 2. So, okay. So we have Yin and Ride the Wave. This card came out in pile 1 actually, so I'm surprised to see it come out. But if you were drawn to pile 1, you want to look at that. And then on the back of the deck we have the World. So I think that was in pile 1 as well. What I'm hearing is that you have the world at your fingertips, and that actually I'm hearing like you can have your cake and eat it too, which is pretty awesome. But like what I'm hearing here is that this endeavor that you're going towards, I feel like you know it's going to work out, but you don't really want to admit to yourself that it will, on the off chance that it just goes kaputs. But I think what Spirit is saying is that you've put in the work energetically. And what I mean by that is you've taken that time to reflect, and you've also done the incredible achievement of getting out of your head and doing the damn thing. That's kind of like what I was talking to pile 2 about. So if you're drawn to that, that might be worth looking at. But there's really this for a lot of you, I feel like this is about love. It doesn't have to be about love. It could totally be about something else. But like kind of what I just noticed was we have 2s on both sides, and then we have this 3-4, and I was hearing like the song 1 2 3 4 by the Plain White Tees. And I feel like this is somebody, if this is a person that you're moving towards, just know that the things that happened in the past are like either with this person or just events that happen in your past, like you can close out that cycle and keep it in the past. I feel like you're in this energy of receptivity and trying to be positive. I feel like Spirit is noting that you have this attitude of just going with the flow, and that's exactly what you should be doing while still trying to be, I think you could honestly be a little bit more optimistic than you are. But I think whatever this opportunity is that you're charging towards has a lot of benefits in store. So for example, let's say you already are settled, established, you have a family, you're with somebody, or you know, maybe you're single, but you have a family. Like, you know, if this endeavor has something to do with money, like I think it's going to be financially abundant. I think it's going to maybe like schedule wise, it might work better with your family, or this could be somebody that you start a family with. Whatever this goal is, like, because it doesn't have to be love. It could certainly be like a career endeavor, or maybe moving somewhere for better opportunities. No matter what it is, MEGADECK is saying like where you're being called is showing you a lot of blessings. And with cornucopia, I mean, like this is like blessings on blessings on blessings. And I think that the reason why you're feeling confident enough to go after this goal is because you're starting to see potential, or there has been evidence in the 3D or the physical world that has shown you that you can be successful in this endeavor. And that's why I think you're finally in that energy of like, okay, maybe I can go after this, but you're still trying to be objective and kind of allow things to happen. And so I think that MEGADECK is praising you for your attitude and your ability to move forward. Like my heart is racing right now. Like I feel like I just like want to get up and like run. And I'll just be honest, I never ever want to do that. So I definitely feel like I just want to like run towards my dreams and jump on this rainbow. And like, I wish I had a dolphin friend that I could swim with. That's on my bucket list, swimming with dolphins. You know, maybe you're charging towards a bucket list wish. But whatever this is, I feel like Spirit is saying you have so many blessings coming your way. Bro, you have like no idea. You got so many. And you're starting to see that, but like I feel like you have no idea. Thanksgiving could be significant in some way. I don't know why, I just felt like I needed to say that. But I do think that you are like, you're doing a good job of balancing like, or at least trying to balance like your feminine and masculine energy. I feel like you're just being receptive and taking action towards the things you can control and releasing the things that you can't, and just trying to like maintain balance. And I think that's You got 2 thumbs up from me, and I think you got 2 thumbs up from MEGADECK. But let's ask MEGADECK's advice for you and what MEGADECK wants you to know, because clearly you going after this goal, I think it's taken you a lot to go after this goal, whatever it is. So you should be really proud of yourself for everything that you've done so far. And, you know, I think you're doing the best, like maintaining the best attitude you possibly can. So, you know, claps to that, snaps to that. But let's see, MEGADECK, what advice do you have for pile 3? What do you want pile 3 to know at this time? Okay, we have the 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel. That's definitely not how you say it. I just wanted to say it like that. Ooh, that's the second 14. This is about, oh, for a lot of you, this is about a person. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, I can't wait to talk about this. I'm like grinning ear to ear right now. I hope you're grinning ear to ear right now, because oh, we got patience. Damn, the energy oracle is popping off. Like I wanted MEGADECK to be all of the different decks, and the energy oracle, she's just like, no, this is my time to shine. Angel of Balance. And then, oh wait, we have one more card, please. Unexpected visitors. Okay, well, I'm gonna take that one. What's underneath this? Magic stream and education. So if these have any, okay, I think actually Spirit's calling out to me 2 specific things. Cranes, no, 3. Cranes, fairies, and a waxing or waning crescent moon could have some significance to this for some reason. But the unexpected visitors card, I think, is what's important. And on the back of the deck, wishing well. So I definitely think this is something that you've been wishing for. I think this person, if this goal doesn't have anything to do with a person, then I think Spirit is saying that you have the support of your loved ones, and that there might be people coming back into your life, or new people coming into your life that you weren't expecting, that are part of your path in some way. But I think for a lot of you, this goal has something to do with someone else, another person that you might be pursuing, or you might be communicating with, or wanting to take action towards, whether new or old. And I think that the reason why you're actually ready for this is because of your, like, the healing you've done in your solar plexus chakra. And you might be like, I don't even know what chakras are, so I don't know how you can say I've healed. And all I will say is that clearly you have the self-confidence to follow this goal and the energy to follow this goal, and that is evidence of a healed solar plexus chakra, or a cleared solar plexus chakra. And you know, the solar plexus chakra also has to do with like our intelligence and and shit like that. You know, as I say very intelligently. And so you're going about this in a very like rational way. And also, I think the big difference between this time and past times, so like if this is other people or shit like that, is you know that you're gonna be okay no matter the outcome. One outcome seems really, it seems like it's going that way, and you want to invest your heart in it. But at the same time, you do have that part of you where you're like, okay, like I just need to, I need to be objective. I just need to allow things to happen as they'll happen. But I feel like Spirit is really saying whatever you've been wishing for. Oh, shit. Yes. With this deep knowing, you know whatever this is, it's meant for you. And that's why you're going after it. And, you know, Spirit's saying, like, we've heard your wishes. You deserve this. Whatever this is, you deserve it. Like, you deserve it. Damn it, you deserve it. And you're going after it. Ride the wave, because you're getting there. And what's so beautiful is that, first of all, I think this is something that is divinely protected. This person clearly feels the same way about you. If this is another person, I would say for sure, like, this feels like magical. This feels like somebody that's like a missing piece. Like, for example, let's say you're a single parent and maybe you've been really afraid of introducing somebody to your children or something like that. I feel like Spirit is saying that, you know, your kids are going to get along with this person. There's going to be a lot of blessings. You know, maybe this person has a steady job or they're abundant and they're going to bring more abundance as well. I feel like you and this person are meant to create a lot of abundance. You know, obviously you don't have to be a single parent for that to resonate. I think that just this person is very significant. Like and this is why I think that you've been in that energy of passivity, you know, with this yin energy, and that in that past energy, like that 4 of Swords, that 8 of Swords, that like being stuck in your head, like staying on the DL, stuff like that. It was all meant to happen that way because you kind of had to have the confidence to get out of your head. Like there was a lot of solar plexus chakra healing that needed to be done, and I feel like Archangel Chamuel is saying, hey, pile 3, like you've done it, like we're so proud of you. And I think that it's really important for you to have that solid foundation, especially if this is about a relationship, because this is what's going to keep you from being codependent with this person. It's going to keep you responsible towards yourself and not place your needs or your desires on somebody else. And it's going to keep you you're not going to base your worth on others. And I think that you haven't been. And that's why you're finally in a place where you're ready to go after your dreams and achieve them. And maybe you have been already, but I feel like for a lot of you, this dream could be about a person. And with this unexpected visitors, you know, they might pop back into your life in a really weird way. Or maybe there will be other people coming into your life because of this. What is it? Fuck, I just lost the word. I had something to say and I lost it. If I remember, I'll get back to it. But in terms of advice, if this isn't love related, I would say that Spirit is asking you to lean on the people that you love most, that support you most when you feel weak. You know, be patient with how things, like not everything is going to play out in like one day, you know. It's kind of funny, like you have the Knight of Swords, and so maybe you want things to happen really fast, but I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, just be patient, allow things to unfold. You're doing wonderfully, but you know, try your best not to act impulsively here. There needs to be balance. And I think that especially if this is like a connection, there has to be a balance of give and take. And with this World card here, you know, I feel like you have been closing out a cycle for a while now, but I feel like Spirit is just saying that you're leveling up, like you're ready for a lot more abundance than you once were. And I think that whatever you've been wishing for, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a specific person, whether it's an opportunity, a different career, a change of pace, a change of routine, a change of life, whatever it is, you're getting it. And you better be energized and you better be excited because it's going to be even better than you thought it was. And I think that Spirit is really saying, you know, just trust that we're taking you where you need to go. Just keep riding the waves, keep being, you know, logical and objective. Don't get too lost in your fantasies, but also it's okay to be a little excited because I think that there's a lot of good things coming, you know. MEGADECK is so into this. Like MEGADECK is all over this. I'm all over this. So whatever this is, like 2 thumbs up, honestly. I think that you should be really excited and you deserve to feel excited because you've put in the work and you've earned this. You deserve this. So we're going to get some channeled messages from your guides and see what they want you to say, what they want you to say, or what they want to say to you, not what they want you to say. That's probably what you want. You're like, tell me what to say, especially if this is a person. You're like, I have no idea what to say to them. I just know I want to talk to them or something, or that I just want to talk to them all the time. Who knows? Let's see, though. Spirit, what advice do you have, or what do you want pile 3 to know at this time? Okay, well, I'm going to take these 2, and then the other ones, yeah, I'm going to take back. Okay, so, okay, yeah, so Spirit is saying, yeah, whatever you've been wishing for, we know, deep knowing, you know that they know. I know it, you know it, your guides know it, everybody knows it. You know that this is meant for you, whatever it is, and your guides are saying we know. Bonus points if you play Elder Scrolls and like the Dark Brotherhood. But if you weren't sure what this is from, it's from that. But yeah, the universe knows what you want, and the reason why you feel so excited and you feel ready to go for it is because you are ready. Let's see what else. You'll never know what you can achieve unless you try. So yeah, I think that's why you're in this. You're not being optimistic yet, but you are being motivated to move towards it. Let's see. Connect to me through the first crystal that comes to mind. So I think this is directly related to Archangel Chamuel. So the first crystal that comes to your mind when you read this card, you can use it to connect to this archangel or your guides, whichever you feel more connected to. So if you feel like it's more about a specific guide or one of your guides, then you can connect to that guide through this crystal, or I would say Archangel Chamuel, or maybe your person. Maybe your person has a specific crystal. And you can connect to their energy through that way. We also have, I show up as an animal you've been seeing repeatedly. Okay, so maybe you've got a lot of spiritual energy around you right now. Maybe that crane that I showed earlier has some significance, or dolphins as well. That could be Archangel Chamuel. That could be a guide, or maybe this person has a significant animal associated with them. But when I made this deck, it was for spirit guides. So I think there might be two different guides trying to connect with you. You can look and see like if there's an animal that you've been seeing repeatedly, or a crystal that you feel connected to. You can see like any spiritual associations with it if you're having trouble figuring out what kind of guide that might be. But let's see, what else, Spirit, what else do you want? Okay, go off. Integrity is essential. Stick to your morals and honor your inner compass. Yeah, I think this is really important, especially if this is like a love situation, because I think that's why you're in that Knight of Swords energy, and that's why you need to be there, is because I think that when you lead with your emotions, you know, you had that Seven of Cups. Things can get confusing. You know, you might get really confused, and you might lose your sense of boundaries, your sense of like your morals, because you want to people please, or you want to make the other person happy, or you might be afraid to open up because of or your emotions might just be really confusing, and so you might just be afraid. Whatever it is, I feel like Spirit is saying approaching this situation with like, I don't want to say being logical, I just want to say being rational. Being rational about your approach is definitely helping you get where you need to go. And I think it's important to just remember who you are and what you stand for when it comes to this goal, so that you accept nothing less than what you deserve. But let's see what else. Okay, so we also have sacral chakra. So I don't know, maybe you've been feeling some feelings, you know, those kinds of feelings, you know what I mean? Those intimate feelings about this person. So if your sacral chakra has been activated, that might be an indication of that. The sacral chakra is also about expression and expressing yourself and your creative side. So maybe if there's things you need to express that you can't express yet, I would look into maybe embodying your creative side, or trying to be a little bit more creative, that feminine creative energy. But I think if this is like a romantic connection of some kind, I feel like there's a lot of you know, physical energy between the both of you that like that you can probably feel. But we also have 333, your spiritual team is supporting your dreams. And so yeah, like I said, this is MEGADECK approved, this is your guides approved, this is Archangel Chamuel approved, this is ASO approved. Like whatever you've been following towards, you're meant to be here. Like you're meant to follow this dream. You know, we know. We've heard your wishes, and you know that you deserve this too. So it's time to go after it. But let's see. Oh my God, this has been the back of the deck energy twice. Okay, if you feel called to any of the other piles, I mean, go for it, man. I feel like you're not going to be in the same position as the other two piles, but there might be essential messages. But we have thank you for being a friend on the back of the deck. And so maybe this is a situation where you need to be friends first and then explore more later. This could also just be your guides. Like maybe you've been deepening your relationship to your guides, and so they want to say, hey, you know, thanks for talking to us, thanks for being in your life, but maybe you have new friends coming in and Spirit's highlighting that. This could have a lot of different possibilities, but I think that the moral of the story is that you're golden and you're gonna do just fine in whatever it is that, whatever goal you're going after. Your guides definitely know about it, and they're like, they're so into it. They're like, yes, like, yeah, pile 3 and you got 333. Like, I just hear your guides just going, yas. Like, they're just so into it. Okay, so Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3, please? What do you want pile 3 to know? What affirmations do they need to hear? Any day now. Okay. Ooh, you guys get 4. Oh my god. This was on the back of the deck too. In the last, either in the first or the second. There's so many repeating messages. That's been happening a lot lately. I don't know. Like, something's in the water of the collective. That's all I can say. But you're appreciated. Your friends and family appreciate you more than you know. So just know that you are supported, like, so much more than you believe. Oh my god, these are the same cards. Are you kidding me? Now I'm like, come on, Spirit. Like, are we just doing the same cards over and over? Like, what's the point of me shuffling if this is just gonna happen every time? Okay, so we have self-love. It's time to fall in love with yourself. You come first, which is so true. And I think that's something you've been learning with this Archangel Shamuel. I think a lot of you have already, I guess if you're not feeling confident in yourself, solar plexus chakra is where you gotta look. But I feel like for a lot of you, you've already come to this point, whether you realize it's healing that you've done in your solar plexus or not. Like, it is something that you've been working on. And Spirit says that you should be proud of yourself. You should be so incredibly proud of yourself and what you've achieved. Reward yourself. And finally, we have trust and receive. Yes, amazing work. Your persistence is paying off. Trust the process and expect to receive it very soon. And that's what that yin energy is receptivity. That is waiting for these blessings to come. That is allowing things to happen and riding the wave. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you guys. I want to know what this is, especially if this is like a romantic thing. I'm like, let me know. I'm very curious. If not, like, whatever it is, I'm really excited for you, because clearly it's taken you some time to get to this point and you so deserve all of this. So if you ever feel like you don't deserve this or feel like you're not ready for this, like, you just tell your brain to shut up, because you're doing a great job. And honestly, like, you're golden. You're golden. You're doing just fine. And just trust that you're on the right path and that you should be very proud of yourself. And yeah, I'm excited for you. Your guides are excited for you. We're all excited around here. So I'm going to leave this reading here, pile 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this reading all the way through. If you did, definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed if you want to see more videos from me, and turn on that little notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a reading. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the Rainbow Heart Tarot, this is going to be your reading from the universe, whatever the universe wants to tell you. So what we are going to do is I'm going to see what this card is. This is the card you picked at the beginning. And we're going to see what, like, the overall energy is and what's going on in your life. And we'll pull more tarots to get more tarot to get clarification. Thought I said tarots. That's not a word. But then we are going to look and see what MEGADECK has to say. And trust me, MEGADECK has thoughts. Like, she is a personality. I just tried her out 3 times and I'm having fun. So I hope you guys like her too. But you probably don't know yet because you picked pile 4. Anyway, let's look at your energy first. So the first card that came out is the 7 of Swords. And I actually want to say that, like, when I shuffled this, it came out in full force. So this could mean a couple of different things. And when you see this card, I don't want it to scare you, because it shouldn't scare you. But what I'm seeing here is that this could be one of 3 things. This could be that somebody in the past has betrayed you, and that is something that you are struggling with right now and you are having a hard time with. somebody in your life currently might be sneaky or deceptive, and if that's the case, you likely already know who that is and you have been suspicious of them. I will see if there's any signs of that and hopefully give you confirmation. I don't want you to be suspicious of people that could be like completely innocent or anything like that. Only if that's been something that you've been feeling and been wondering, that might be valid. But also this speaks to, and what I think this will speak to for most people, is self-sabotage. The Seven of Swords is notorious for that energy of self-sabotage. So it's possible that you have these goals, these dreams that you want to go after, but you might be afraid of achieving them. You might be afraid of failure. And I feel like whatever is going on, clearly something's going on. And it definitely, what's interesting is that all of the cards, if you felt drawn to any of the other piles, I would say feel free to watch. What I'm noticing now is that the first and fourth piles, I mean, I don't really mind giving you spoilers about this. The first and the fourth piles started with sevens, and the two middles were knights. So I find that honestly really interesting, because I think there's just a lot of similar energies just in the collective, and as a result, I don't know. If you felt drawn to any of the others, I would just say, you know, roll with it. But I definitely think, you know, 7 is a very spiritual number, and I was telling them to the first pile. So, you know, I definitely think that whatever is going on here, it's not easy, but it probably has some deeper lesson or deeper growth behind it. But Spirit, can we get more information on pile 4? What's going on with pile 4? What's going on in their life? What does this Seven of Swords pertain to? Okay, so we have the High Priestess. Okay, we have the Four of Swords. Does that want to be upright or reverse? Because he was kind of... Okay, I'm going to take him upright only because... he like flopped out to the side. Okay. We also have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse on the back of the deck. I just want to cut the deck really quickly. Okay, Temperance in reverse. Got it. Sagittarius energy could be significant here. But what it kind of seems like, pile 4, maybe pile 2 is meant for you. My candle just went out. Damn. I really feel like... Oh, pile 4, can I give you a hug? If you're... I hope you're doing okay. But I definitely feel like there is a need to slow down a little bit. Because I think there's a huge fear of mistrusting others. And one thing that I'm seeing right away, and that I feel like Spirit is really trying to get you to be aware of, is that because the fact that we have the High Priestess and the Four of Swords upright, you have a really strong and really developed intuition. But I think that you are not listening to yourself. I think that you're really focused on external things at the moment. And honestly, you could just be going through a really hard time right now, or just really feeling like things aren't going to get better. And one thing I do want to say is that they can and they will get better. I promise you that. Like, double pinky promise, things will get better. Of course, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid, you know, like any resources that you might need. Like, you don't have to go through this alone. But I do think that there is a need for a break here, because the energy is very stagnant. And I think the reason why, you know, this Knight of Pentacles in reverse is really showing me just how stagnant you are, because the Knight of Pentacles upright is slow. And so the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and you have all of these pentacles in reverse. And I feel like things in your physical world are really just either like not great, or things can't really move forward in your life right now because you're kind of in survival mode. And I do just want to say it's absolutely okay to be in survival mode. Like, you're surviving. That's what matters, and that's what's really important. But I definitely feel like I think you're just afraid, like afraid to be out in the world, afraid to be a person and exist. I feel like you know that you have such amazing goals to achieve, or you have so much potential. Here comes an eye roll. You know, oh, we're full of potential, but then we don't achieve it. But you can achieve it. But I think what you just really need is time to heal, and time to get in touch with yourself, because I think that you're self-sabotaging because you don't know any different, or you think you don't deserve better. And you know, it's really easy to fall into brain deceptive thought patterns that make us believe that will amount to nothing, or that we deserve nothing, or that we can't do things. And I think that, like, I just feel bleak and apathy, and I hate that. Like, no, I don't, like, I'm not saying I hate you. I hate that you might be feeling that way, because I know what that's like, and that shit is not easy, and it does really make you slow down, and it makes life just hard. And I feel like you might be really isolated right now and really withdrawn, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think what you're doing in that isolation is really important, you know? If you're just distracting yourself, if you're just ignoring the problem, I think that this cycle is going to continue longer. I feel like Spirit's bringing this reading to your attention specifically because for a lot of you, I think you might be self-sabotaging. And the reason why you're self-sabotaging, I think, could be different for everybody. For some people, it could be because somebody betrayed you in the past, and you might be healing from that, you might be recovering from that, or maybe especially if it was in the recent past and you're still hurting from that, you might just need time to just slow down and give yourself space to just feel those hard feelings and exist. If this betrayal happened a long time ago, you know, maybe you're just mistrusting of people now, and you might just be afraid to put yourself out there because you don't want to get hurt again, and you don't know if you can trust your intuition. But if you're self-sabotaging, Spirit is definitely saying that your intuition is a lot stronger than you think it is, and these answers that you keep seeking externally are within you, and that you guys are definitely my pile where meditation is very important. And I know meditating is very hard. It's so hard. It's difficult. So I would definitely look into like guided meditations on YouTube or something. Meditation can honestly be cool. Like, I like to treat meditation like a video game. Like, if you've ever watched iCarly, there's one character named Sam, and she loves TV but doesn't really read books. And then she reads a book one time and she's like, holy shit, this is like TV in your head. Meditation is like video games in your head. And I think that it could actually be really, really beneficial for you because there's so much for you to explore within yourself. And I think it'll actually make you realize how much more you can trust yourself than you think you can. You just have to be willing to listen. Because I think that you're trying to find relief from this pain, or relief from these self-sabotaging tendencies externally. And I feel like Spirit is saying you're focusing your energies in the wrong places. But with this High Priestess and this Four of Swords here, there's definitely a spiritual component to this. Like, you could be going through like the dark night of the soul right now. You could be going through like just a really heavy spiritual low, or just having a hard time, you know. In terms of the Wheel of Fortune, you're on the bottom of the wheel right now. It's the kind of sort of vibe I'm getting. But that's okay, because we all have highs and lows. And the best thing about lows is that it can only go up from here. And the important thing is, but now see, I have to like preface that with when you're in the highs, you have to appreciate the highs for what they are. And instead of being like, oh, well, when's the next horrible thing coming? You can't do that. Like, I get the tendency to want to, but it's just not productive. Like, when you're in the highs, you should definitely be like, hell yeah, like, this is a high. I'm going to ride this out. I'm going to have a good time. I just meant, like, spiritual high. I didn't mean, like, getting high. Anyway, I definitely think that you need a lot of rest. And that's kind of what, if you've been doing that, please don't feel bad about that, because I think that you really do need that. But I think whatever has been occurring, it's bringing you closer to your own spiritual awareness and your own intuition. And that's really what you should be focused on. This cute little heart of yours. I don't care what you identify as or who you are. You have a cute little heart. I mean, hearts, like, in real life are kind of, like, ugly and weird, but this one's cute and little. So we're just going to focus on that one. Your metaphorical heart. Leave the other heart stuff to the doctors. But yeah, I definitely think that this is a time where you're going through some shit and it sucks, and I'm really sorry. I'm sending you a big ass hug. That I don't really, this is not a good hug though, but like, the effort's there. But these are moments that are really important because they make you stop and reflect and decide what's really important and what you really want to do with your life and what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept and what you actually deserve. I don't feel like you're in a place to really go full force into something right now. So, like, if you watched pile 2 and you were like, yeah, I definitely do need to ground the things that I want to achieve, Spirit is saying before you do that, you really have to focus on healing whatever this is first, because the reason why you can't ground this is because clearly there's pain or there's something going on that you have to address in order to move forward, because it's impacting you enough to the point where you're self-sabotaging and you're having a really hard time, like, getting things done. And so I think that it's incredibly important to honor when you're just tapped out. You know what I mean? When you're just drained. So let's see what MEGADECK has to say. Maybe you're sick. I had the same problem in pile 2. So maybe you were drawn to pile 2, or maybe you watched pile 2. But I don't know. I'm just, like, stuffed up for some reason. But anyway, we're going to get MEGADECK's thoughts. But MEGADECK is so mega. I've had to explain this in each pile that we've got 2 MEGADECKs. So MEGADECK 1 is just going to be giving thoughts, and MEGADECK 2 is going to be giving advice. But we'll just see what MEGADECK has to say, because I've been kind of loose with the interpretations, honestly. But we already have Healer of the Ages coming out, and with that High Priestess, you know, this could be, like I was saying, that dark night of the soul that you really need to just show you how powerful you truly are. Oh, broken heart, yeah. Whatever has been going on, you know, I feel for you. Like, I'm feeling what you're feeling right now, and it's tough. Like, I get it. Like, I'm really sorry. But I know that you're so much stronger than you think you are, and you're going to look back at this time in your life at some point and just be how proud of yourself for how far you've come. But MEGADECK, what are your thoughts? What do you want to say to pile 4? What's the 411 in MEGADECK's world? Ride the wave. Wow, this came out in the last pile. Oh my god. All right. But the last pile was drastically different from this pile, so MEGADECK, what else do you want to say to pile 4? Rest and rejuvenation. Yeah, you definitely need it. You deserve it. I don't care. And I don't care if you're like, I haven't done anything in a week. You still need rest, because you were probably spending that week like either on your phone or on electronics, distracting yourself, and like your brain was probably going a mile a minute, and you were probably like, you're probably still exhausted. Even if you haven't physically done anything, if you're not giving your brain a break, you're still going to be exhausted. Like, your brain takes up a bunch of calories, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I didn't pay attention very well in science. But even though I am a science girl, I just like, ugh, you know, I don't need that shit anymore. I'm not in school. But hostilities, yeah. It's like, you're definitely in like this defensive protective mode. Like I almost like am thinking of it in, you know, how like when a dog is like hurt or abused, that they become hostile because they're afraid. Like it's kind of like that. And you know, I think that your approach towards life and the things that you've been feeling are entirely valid, and you need to give yourself a break for not feeling very well. And if you're not feeling bad, bro, this is not your pile. Like, okay, so we have the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, and we have strength. And on the back of the deck, again, we have follow the leader. This is so weird. This was the back of the deck on another pile too. What the hell? MEGADECK, you're so mega, and then you give me the same. Okay, I'm not gonna complain. It's not your fault. But what's interesting is that I am noticing a lot of blues and greens. And so I think one thing is that your heart chakra and your throat chakra are 2 areas that you probably want to focus on. But I feel like MEGADECK is saying, you know, it's okay to just ride this out if you need to, and pass the time in ways that are just easy, or ways that are enjoyable. But it's quite possible that nothing right now is going to be enjoyable. So I want you to know that that's okay. It's okay if nothing is enjoyable right now. With this follow the leader card being on the back of the deck, I feel like Spirit is saying, it's okay to ask for help. Like if you really need help, like, you know, you might not be able to get out of this by yourself, and that's okay. Sometimes we need other people, but I think it's important that you communicate. This 5th chakra is all about communication. And I feel like especially, you know, if you're in school, or you're struggling in school, or you're struggling in your job, don't be afraid to communicate what's going on. I mean, you don't have to give details, but you can just say, hey, like, I'm not in a good headspace, or I'm not doing well right now. You know, can I have an extension on this assignment, or can I have an extension on whatever? Can we work around my schedule? Can we make, like, doing whatever it is that you need to do? And maybe, I'm feeling called to talk about this, so this is only going to resonate for some people, but if you're in college, specifically in the US, I don't really know how like mental health stuff works in other countries, like on the collegiate level. I mean, I don't know what kind of resources they offer, but most collegiate campuses usually have some type of counseling services that I think like are typically included with your tuition, because usually they'll have like students that are like grad students that need that like observation time and stuff. So, you know, don't be afraid to look into what kind of resources your school or your work offers. I also think just being open, not just with like people like that, but your friends and your family, and maybe romantic partner if you have one, you know, just being honest about where you're at, because being honest about what you're going through does not make you weak. And I think MEGADECK has a great point in highlighting this, that it's not weak to admit that you need help, and it's not weak to admit that you're in a bad place. It's strong to do that. And MEGADECK is saying that you're strong enough to get through all of this, and you will. But you have to give yourself a break, and you have to give yourself time to relax and meditate and sleep and be open about what's going on with yourself, because people are not mind readers, and they will not be able to know what's going on unless you tell them. And that doesn't mean you have to tell everyone everything, but just being honest, hey, I'm not doing good right now. Like, I guarantee you most people will not be mean to you or you know, punish you for being in a bad place. Most people will be understanding. And I know it's hard to talk about this stuff. I know it is. But I think that if you are more open and honest about these certain things, it might give you a little more leeway, and it might give you more time to just relax, because I do think that you are feeling a bit frazzled. And I think that you are having a hard time communicating what you're feeling and what you're going through. Because maybe you don't understand why you're going through this. Or maybe you're sick and maybe you need to communicate that. Because my stupid nose is stuffing up. But yeah, it's okay to not be okay, pile 4. And I think you need to know how strong you are already just for getting through the day and for getting through this. This is not easy. And I know that, like, it's so much easier said than done to communicate these problems and to be open about how you're feeling and be honest about that. But I promise you, it doesn't make you weak. And if anything, you know, most people are kinder than you think they will be. And just friend to friend, like, I know exactly what it's like to feel this way and not tell anyone and suffer in silence. And it's really not the right way, because there are so many people in your life that will care about you and that will really want you to. I'm sorry, I'm like crying. I just don't want you to feel this way, pile 4. I promise you, there are so many people in your life that love you and that want you to want. MEGADECK loves you, I love you, your guides love you, the universe loves you. So that's like, I don't know, at least like 10 right there. Like I said, I'm bad at math, but I promise you there are people in your life that love you a hell of a lot, and they don't want you to go through this, and you don't deserve to go through this. And it's okay to not be okay. All right, MEGADECK, what do you want to say? What advice do you have for pile 4? I'm like, I gotta get myself together, because, like, man, this shit is hard. And I'm like, I've been here. I know firsthand how hard this shit is. And, like, it doesn't help that we're in a damn pandemic and, like, the whole world is freaking out all the time and everything is stressful. And I get it if you just feel like everything hurts and I'm dying, but I promise you, like, you are not a bad person. You are not unworthy. You are so deserving of life. You are so deserving of a break. And I think the biggest person who needs a break is you. Like, you need to tell yourself that you need a break, because I feel like it's not even I feel like, I know this. Like, if you're feeling this shitty, you're probably shaming yourself for how shitty you're feeling. And then on top of that, if you're neglecting responsibilities because of how shitty you feel, then on top of that, there's the stress and the anxiety of feeling that shame and also feeling like you need to get stuff done. And then those responsibilities pile up, and then it's an endless cycle. So please reach out to people. Please communicate what's going on. And if you are spiritual, Archangel Gabriel, he is the Archangel of communication. You can pray to him to help him give you the courage to speak up. I know it can be really difficult to talk about this stuff, and it like, I understand how it can feel very shameful. But you know what? With Follow the Leader, like, if you want advice from me, like, don't be afraid to talk to somebody. You know, don't be afraid to open up to somebody. And typically, better than not, that would be like a therapist or a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. But whatever you need, it doesn't necessarily, like, this doesn't necessarily have to be mental problems. Maybe it is physical. Maybe you need to go to a regular doctor. Whatever it is, I just feel like you're so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. And it takes strength just to get through shit like this. And so you should know just right away that you do not deserve to be ashamed for what's going on here. And you do not deserve to beat yourself up about it. If anything, you deserve, like, you need like a 5-star vacation at a spa. Like, I need to get loaded so that I can just take all the pile 4s on a spa trip and we can just relax. Because you guys deserve that. You need healing. You need a break. You need to give yourself a break. And you need to tell yourself that it's okay not to be okay. We're not robots. Humans are not meant to just go all the time. Like, And especially when you're feeling like this is like the equivalent of having a broken arm, like, in your brain. Like, you have to put that shit in a cast. Like, you have to give it, like, you can't use it. Like, you have to, like, chill for a while, because, man, that shit is not easy. But, okay. MEGADECK, what advice do you have for pile 4 at this time? Sorry, I went on a little tangent there, but okay, I guess this guy wants to come out. A man holding a heart. Okay, what else? So maybe we also have yin yang upright this time. What else, Spirit? What other advice do you have for pile 4? The World. I'm telling you, the same cards are coming out in like every single reading, and I'm like, there's 7 trillion cards in here. What else do you want to say to pile 4? Okay. Slow and steady and heal the ouch. Yes. Oh my god. Thank you, MEGADECK. And action on the back of the deck. So one thing I always notice about this action card is that, you know, you have this dark horse and this white horse. And, you know, I always look at the black horse as our shadow side and the white horse as our light side. And the light horse can lead, but, you know, our shadows catch up to us. And so I feel like this is Spirit saying that you can't take action until you address these shadows. And these shadows can be big. But it is time to take action towards those shadows and heal the ouch. And I was actually saying this in a different pile. Sometimes, not sometimes, inaction is inaction. And that might be the type of action that you need to take. With this man holding heart, there could be someone in your life. This could be a significant other. This could be a good friend, a family member, anybody who provides good emotional support for you. I feel like you should be afraid to open up to them about how you're feeling. And also, I think this has to do with intellectualizing your emotions as well. You might be just like pretending like your heart doesn't exist, and that might be hurting things even more. The fact that we have yin yang upright this time really shows me that right now, it's best if you're in a very passive energy and kind of like feminine energy, and be very nurturing towards yourself. It's kind of like you need to mother yourself a little bit, and you might not have the energy to mother yourself. So that's why it's important to communicate, because there's somebody who may be able to do that and maybe wants to do that. You know, with this heal the ouch, Spirit is saying like it's time to slow down a little bit, and because you can't move forward if you're feeling like this, and you're gonna continue spiraling. Like, I don't want to like scare you, but it's really hard to get out of stuff like this, and you're completely capable of doing it on your own. But I think it is better to be open about how you're feeling to the people that care about you, because they care about you for a reason, and they definitely want to help you. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, you're not going to feel like $1,000,000 tomorrow. Healing takes time. And if you're unaware, healing is a continual process that literally never ends. But I think it's important for you guys, pile 4, to understand that you are deserving of healing. You are deserving of feeling good. You don't deserve to feel like this all the time, and you can't be perfect. Nobody is perfect. And if you're trying to uphold this image like everything's fine and, you know, you're doing okay, you need to stop. Because if you're feeling like what I am feeling right now, you are doing yourself such a disservice, and you're making the pain worse. And I'm not saying that in a way to shame you. I'm saying that in a way to make you realize how important it is that you speak up, because there are so many people in your life that care about you. And I feel like, you know, this could be a significant other, like I said. You know, maybe you've been distant from them and you are having trouble opening up to them. You know, maybe this is a parental figure. Maybe this is a sibling, a friend, whoever it is. They don't have to be a man, but I think that There are a lot more people that care about you than you realize. And I think that if you are just open and say, hey, you know, I'm not doing very well, that's okay. Like, honestly, I feel like with this world card here, it's like you kind of need to take a time out from the world so that you can just get your bearings and rest. That's what you really need. And, you know, once you've had time to just relax and de-stress and breathe, then you can slowly and surely start climbing your way up the ladder of success again. You just need to take a little break when things get tough, you know? And what's even better about healing is that then you can help others. And maybe that doesn't mean like, you know, you become someone's therapist, but you can be a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen to others that are struggling, and you'll know how to help other people when they're in this situation. You can give them good advice and you can show them how. You're so strong already for getting through what you've been dealing with. And yeah, like I said, I wish I could give you a hug, because this is definitely not an easy thing to go through. Feelings like this are never fun. But I hope it brings you comfort to know that Spirit is so aware of how poorly you're feeling, and your guides aren't ashamed of you. They love you very much. And I promise you, nobody is going to be ashamed of you. They're just going to want you to get better, and they're going to want you to do what's right for yourself and to get help and to get better, because not only do you deserve that, but like there's just a lot of people, they want you to time back in. They want you to get back out there and live your life so that they can live life with you. There are a lot of people that love spending their time with you, and you can't live your life fully if you're constantly in a state of dysfunction and sadness. And it's not your fault for being there, but it is your responsibility to heal. And maybe you're not ready to heal, and that's okay. But awareness of you at least need to give yourself a break and not shame yourself for what you're feeling. I know the process of healing can seem very overwhelming, but I think it's just a one step at a time thing. And having maybe somebody else to help you walk through it. Like, see, even the fox here, like, he's got that ouch, but the fox isn't healing himself. He's got this cute little raccoon nurse, you know? You just gotta find your raccoon or your somebody. Like, there will be somebody to help you. And I feel like it's unfair to expect yourself to do this alone. And I think that you know, there's going to be changes, spiritual changes. It's the second 22 with intention. At least if you have the intention to heal, that's better than the intention to, oh my gosh, sorry. My gosh, I'm like so stuffed up for some reason. I feel like I can't even talk. But with this intention, even just the intention of healing is better than the intention of allowing yourself to sink and not caring about what happens. You know what I mean? Because your life is worth living, and you deserve to be here, and you matter. You matter so much. And I feel like being more open to your guides and like your spiritual side, you know, clearly Archangel Gabriel has thoughts for you and wants to help you communicate these things and help you take action. I feel like, you know, embracing your spiritual side or exploring your spiritual side could really help you with a lot of this. But there's a lot of blue here, a lot of throat chakra energy, and I think that it's time for some honest communication with yourself. And, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help from people, even if it's for stuff like for example, you know, if your place is really messy and you're having trouble, you know, don't be afraid to ask somebody if they can help you clean it up, or, you know, pay someone to clean it for you. Like, you don't have to feel this guilt like you have to do it all the time. Like, if you need help, you need help, and there's no shame in getting help. And I know that everybody in your life that loves you, they want you to get help, and they might not even know that you're struggling right now. And that's why it's so important. Like, you might feel like nobody cares about you, but you have to remember that people are not mind readers, and a lot of times they're more worried about what's going on in their life. And, you know, not everyone reads energy. So just remember that, like, people can't read your mind, and they probably have no idea how badly you're struggling. So it's better to just be open and honest about how you're feeling, and just tell the people in your life, especially like professors, teachers, supervisors, bosses, anything like that, about what's going on, because I promise you most people are a lot more patient and understanding than you would think, especially now. I think that there's a lot less stigma against mental health than there once was, which is wonderful. And I think that, you know, you don't deserve to shame yourself for what you're going through. It's totally, it's a shitty thing to go through, but it's not your fault. Like, you know, sometimes we just don't have the serotonin. Sometimes we just don't have the dopamine. Like, it's not your fault, pile 4. But let's get some channeled messages from your guides. Yeah, exactly. We are all at different places in our journey. Be patient with yourself and others. Exactly. You know, you can't beat yourself up for the successes that other people have. Like, if that person was feeling the way you're feeling right now, they probably would not be doing anything, because they would not be feeling very well. And I think it's just an important reminder that you're at this place in your journey for a reason, and you need to trust that the best thing you can do for yourself is just give yourself a break and be nice to yourself. What else do you want to tell pile 4, Spirit? Trust your gut. Yeah, so I feel like if your gut is telling you, like, you need a break, or you need to be, whatever it is, like, honestly, like, just trust what's going on internally. You had the High Priestess here. Where was she? Oh, I don't know. I think I lost her. But you had the High Priestess and the 4 of Swords. I promise, if you start meditating more, or just even try meditating, I guarantee you have a lot more psychic abilities than you think you do. And I bet you can be more, you can communicate with your guides more than you think you can. I think that it might be really beneficial to explore your spiritual side. Answers lie in your ancestry. So maybe like, I don't want to say that this is like depression. I don't want to diagnose anything. But maybe there could be physical or genetic contributions that like, maybe the problem that you're dealing with is something that, you know, your parents or your grandparents or your great-grandparents or somebody in your ancestry also struggled with. So that might be something worth exploring. But also, you know, with like spiritual stuff, you know, maybe there's a deeper spiritual meaning to this. Like, maybe you're meant to get closer to your ancestral ties, whatever that might mean for you, or like maybe cultural traditions, whatever that might be, or maybe ancestors are trying to communicate with you. So that's something to be aware of. You know, they're out there protecting you, and they just want the best for you because they love you so much. But we also have a certain deity wants to work with you. Pay attention to the signs. So we already have an archangel here, but if there are any, let's see, I see lotus flowers. That makes me think of the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, Lakshmi. But yeah, if there's any symbols that you've been seeing a lot, I would highly recommend Googling the symbolism behind those symbols and see if there's any deities connected to them. And it says, you are in alignment when you speak your authentic truth. And I think that is so powerful and so important. Like, I got chills. This is so true, because your authentic truth right now is that you're just straight up not having a good time and you're not doing very well right now. And it's out of alignment for you to pretend like you're okay when you're not okay. And so you need to know that it's okay to not be okay, but also you're actually in alignment. You're at the right place in your journey when you admit that you need help, or that you need a break, or that you need time to just relax and rejuvenate. Because not only do you deserve that, you need that to be your best self, and you deserve to be your best self. What else, Spirit? What else do you want to tell pile 4? What else do you want to tell pile 4? Okay. We also have blessings are coming as a reward to your service for others. Thank you. There she is, Miss Throat Chakra herself. She is saying it's time for you to speak your truth. I mean, that's like, you can't even get clear. Then on the back of the deck, we have make time for your loved ones and millpool. So this is actually referencing a Simpsons episode, which actually honestly kind of makes sense. One of the main characters, Bart, it's the start of summer and their family gets a pool, and he breaks his leg, and so he can't swim all summer. And so then he becomes really isolated and like a recluse. And I feel like this might also show you who your real friends are. If you talk to people, this is why Spirit's bringing this up. If you talk to people about this and they're not supportive of you or they don't care, that has no bearing on you at all. That just goes to show that they're not down for you the way that you thought they were, and that they don't need to be in your life if they're not sympathetic and understanding of your situation. And with this, make time for your loved ones. You know, maybe this like isolating, maybe you need to be around, you know, with this man holding a heart, you know, maybe you need to be around your significant other or your family, the people that lift you up and make you feel good, because it might really help you and make you feel less alone. Like, you don't deserve to feel alone. And I promise you're not alone. Like right now, like, I mean, this entire reading, I'm like, bro, I know exactly like what this feels like and what you're going through. And like, I'm being genuine with that. I do. And it's not easy. And that's like partially why I'm crying, because I don't want anyone to go through that. And it fucking sucks to see anyone go through that. And so I need you to know that like, you're not a bad human. Like, you're not a shitty person. Like, your brain is it just needs some remodeling to see how awesome it is. And the first step at that is communicating with others so that you can learn how to better communicate with yourself. But let's see, let's get some positive affirmations for pile 4. Maybe we'll get some extra ones just to be sure. But let's see, Spirit, pile 4. Okay, we have new beginnings. An exciting shift is on its way. A new job, project, promotion, or home is in the works. So I think it's important that you rest, because you could have some really wonderful things on its way. And I feel like this doesn't even have to be something like a legit like new job. Like, if a lot of things, because we kind of saw in your tarot cards that things were pretty stagnant. But I think the new beginnings just speak to, I know it feels like things won't get better and that life is shitty and like everything sucks, but I promise you, if I had 3 pinkies, I would triple pinky promise that things are going to get better, and that you will get better. And like, I'm hearing like Finding Nemo, like just keep swimming. So you might want to, so maybe like the deity, like the signs could be like a sea turtle, a clownfish, or like whatever this fish is, maybe coral. Maybe you need to be around water, maybe meditate by water, maybe just spend some time outside if you've been really cooped up. I know that like sounds like it won't do anything, but I promise you it actually does. Let's see what else. Exactly. Meditate. Meditation is powerful and can help you see clearly. Remain calm and become at peace with yourself and what you desire. And then we also have enjoy the process. It's time to stop and enjoy the present. Your future is being taken care of by the universe. Yeah, I mean, what can I say that isn't already being said? And be fearlessly you. It's time to become fearlessly you. This is the most powerful step you can take towards living your best life. Don't worry about what others think. And on the back of the deck, peace, tranquility surrounds your life right now. A peaceful road awaits. And I think the start of that peaceful road is, you know, whales could be significant as well. But I think that for you guys, it's literally just going to be finding that inner peace in meditation. I promise you can find that inner peace in meditation. And any anxiety or really bad thoughts that you're feeling, like, please just be willing to talk to somebody about them, even if it's just a friend, even if it's just to open up, because you don't deserve to go through this alone. And I promise if more people knew what you were going through, you would realize that you have a lot more support than you think you do, and that a lot more people care about you than you think they do. You know, it's hard to see that when you feel like nobody's there for you, but if people don't know what you're going through and don't know what you need, it's going to be really difficult for them to be there for you. So pile 4, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through. I'm so sorry that you're going through this, but I know that you'll get through this, and I know that, you know, you are so strong and you've already come so far, and you just deserve to be a lot nicer to yourself and take things one day at a time, because that's really all you can do anyway. And yeah, it's okay to not be okay, but I hope this reading helped, and I am sending you all the loving energy in the world. If you want to comment down below and give support to other pile fours, that would definitely be supported by me. If you enjoyed this video, of course, you can leave it a like, and if you haven't already and you would like to, you can absolutely subscribe. Thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I hope you have a better day or night whenever you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon, and I hope that things get better real soon for you. Bye!